You are live in 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
Alright. So, I'm DaleDukk. And the call with me is Ayana the Sloth, and this is Nier. You're stuck with me for 3.5 hours, so I'm just gonna explain anything I want to explain during the run. So, without much further ado, time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. So the game is gonna start us out in 2030 Tokyo, where we are protecting our sick daughter from some yellow boys. Definitely nothing special about these yellow boys, so we're just gonna kill them mercilessly. Little tutorial here. Of course, you attack by hitting X, and it hits enemies. More importantly, in a moment here, we're going to be getting magic, and that's when things are really going to start happening. So we're going to kill these 3, and after this next wave, it would be really, really bad if I get hit by these next enemies right here. So we're going to really hope we don't get hit by them.
You will get
Oh
hit
god,
by
runs over. Never mind. Well, rip that. Nah, you have to get hit there to progress, and now we have magic. So the first spell, and we're going to get 4 out of the 8 in the game in this little prologue here, is Dark Hand. It's a big Dark Hand. Does a lot of damage, takes up a lot of space. Very, very useful spell. Get used to seeing it. Next up is Dark Blast. If you've played Nier Automata, this looks very familiar to you. It does operate a little bit differently from the Podfire program in that 1, it uses up magic, 2, you cannot attack during. So if I do a melee attack, it would stop it, but I'm not going to do that because that's slow, and I want to go to bed as early as possible because it's very early morning for me. In a moment here, we'll be getting a 3rd spell.
You'll never take Yona from me.
And here we go. Just Dark Hand these big guys a little bit, and there we go, Dark Execution. This is another pretty useful spell, fires out some spears. I think there is a pod program in Nier Automata that mimics this as well.
yes, except that it comes out of both sides.
Yeah. And you can charge it up to have the same effect, but charging up is slow, and not charging it up is fast. Imagine that, being fast in a speedrun. Who does that? Surely not I. It has a pretty good amount of range too. It's enough to 1-hit kill enemies throughout most of the game, 2-hit depending on where they're standing, but we don't really account for that. We just spam it because you have infinite MP in this part of the game. You'll notice we're leveling up a whole lot. This is the grinding portion of the game. We're on to the 4th spell, Dark Lance. It is just a big spear. Again, very powerful, very large.
Yeah, obviously we are totally keeping these levels and will not lose them whatsoever once the real game begins.
Yeah. It's not like this is a prologue or anything.
No.
Whiffing a lot. There we go. And
Shadow Lord? Who's the Shadow Lord you're speaking of?
Alright, so we're gonna fire 4 of these into him, and then we're immediately gonna go into the building, charge up 8 more, and we're aiming for his head, because hitting him in the head does double damage. But he moves around so much that that's not realistic, and I'm actually gonna miss every single one of them. I'm also watching these smaller enemies that are gonna come into the building, because if they hit me, it stops the charge. Alright, and now we wait for the timer, and the timer is something you're going to be seeing a whole lot too. The basic idea is the health bar around it, you want to knock that down before the thing ticking around reaches the end of it, because if you don't do that, it regains some of its health and you stay in the same phase you're already in. So you'll notice that we're a pretty significant amount of years later, and we are still the same guy with the same sick daughter. Or so we think. tech smashing we're introduced to now. I'm alternating between B and A, and it skips like a frame where all the letters roll into the text box. It just goes on to the next one. You'll see people in chat, if you're not familiar with this game at all, you'll see them talking about Dad Nier versus Brother Nier, or maybe Son Nier, or Pretty Boy Nier. So there are actually two versions of the same game here. One of them called Nier Gestalt, one of them called Nier Replicant. In Nier Gestalt, you play as the dad of Yona, and in Replicant, you play as the brother of Yona. Now, in America, and I guess anywhere in the West, so anywhere outside of Japan, maybe like some other Asian countries, I'm really not too entirely sure on that. But the point is, in the West, the only version we got is Gestalt. But in Japan, if you have it on PS3, you have Replicant. If you have it on 360, you have Gestalt.
Hey.
Our daughter likes to read.
She likes to do a lot of things. She really shouldn't, because it's definitely not going to get her killed. No way.
No way, no how.
So movement in the speedrun, you'll notice I'm rolling a lot. When I get down here, I'm going to do kind of a stutter step, and I actually went too far. So I guess I'll try it again when we get out here. So I'm gonna like do a stutter step. I'm trying to get what's called side rolling. There are 3 different rolling animations: front rolling, back rolling, and side rolling. And each one has different speeds and properties, and side rolling is the fastest, so we're gonna try to do that whenever possible. But first we're gonna kill some sheep, because I hate sheep.
Sheep are the worst. Oh, mutton drop.
Yeah. That's what we want. We want 3 mutton, and this will be plenty. And we got wool, of course. Why wouldn't we?
You always get wool when you want mutton.
It's like a 10% chance, and you need to get 3 mutton. And if you get wool, it doesn't really do anything for you, because it doesn't sell for a lot either.
We actually get that for, I believe it's a quest.
Yeah. So it's the first quest of the game. We have to get 3 mutton and give it to the shopkeeper. And then after that, we're gonna go kill some shades by the bridge. That's what the yellow boys are called. We found out shades.
Yeah, they kind of infest the world, but obviously they can't be very... This is just a game about, you know, providing for our daughter and
right. It's
running around.
It's a very traditional fantasy JRPG. Really nothing too crazy about it. Is this the same universe as Nier Automata? Very good question. Yes. In fact, Nier Automata is a direct sequel to this game. You just wouldn't think so.
Direct sequel as in how many years?
It takes place... what is it? 7,000 years after,
yeah.
But it is a direct sequel. That's really hard to wrap your head around. The best way I can put it is that the events of this game, the events of this game directly cause the events in Nier Automata, even though the events of Nier Automata take place so much further along the timeline. This is also tied to another series called the Drakengard series. It's all one big timeline in 2 and maybe even 3 different universes. It's kind of unclear.
I wouldn't call it a line so much.
A time thing.
It's more of a mash of different converging things, even within its own game.
Yes, this is a direct sequel to Drakengard 3 and Drakengard 1. But both differently. There's
So,
Shinjuku
Yokotaro.
2013 and there's Shinjuku 2003, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to confuse people this early into the run. I need to retain these people for 3.5 hours, and that's not going to help.
We will say there are, in all of Yoko Taro's games, there are multiple endings, and they're all canonical in their own ways.
Yes.
And so, yes, Drakengard has endings A through E. Nier Auto Tomato has one for every letter of the alphabet. This game only has 4, correct?
4. And then there's one that's only contained in the Japanese exclusive world book. So there is an ending E, but it's not in game.
No, you have to actually read. That's another thing. There's a lot of reading.
And then there's a
If
pretty
you
big portion of Nier Automata that's contained entirely within a one-time showing of a stage play.
Excuse me as I go get this cat out of a plant.
Yeah, for those who don't know anything about the director of this game, the director of this game is Yoko Taro. He's gone on record publicly to say that he only writes his games when he's drunk. So if that tells you anything about how this series works, then maybe you'll kind of understand where we're coming from. I'm gonna keep this because back rolling is still faster than front rolling. Okay, now we're front rolling. So anyway, you may have noticed we lost all of our magic and spells, which I did allude to earlier, but yeah. So there is an implication there, but I'm gonna let you guys figure it out because we have like 3 hours before that's relevant. It is plot related though, it's not just gameplay related.
Oh yeah, Yoko Taro was very drunk while writing all of his stories.
Alright, no thick dictionaries in this run so far. Some
That's
very
a
bad
shame.
financial luck. Money is very important here. I will also be talking about that later. Because one of the weird things about this game is like when you can talk about things that are happening. Like I guess I could explain it now, but I'm gonna end up explaining it later anyway. You have like the prologue where there's a 10-minute burst of talking about the game and how combat works. And then you have like a solid 15 to 20 minutes before anything else really pops up. So we have plenty of downtime. Chat, how was your day? Write me an essay in no less than 4 sentences. Actually, Han Paul brings up a really good point. I want to imagine that inside that mask, it's kind of like the, you know the SpongeBob episode where they dig up the hat from Schmitty Werb and Jagerman Jensen's grave? That one. And it's like the drink hat where where it has like the straws. I want to imagine inside of the mask is just 2 straws going to 2 beer cans.
Should I include that in the one that I'm making?
Hell yes. Why would you not? Oh yeah, I'm going home. I was thinking it was quest time, but it's not quite quest time yet. It's actually
No,
this part of the game.
You have to go.
Yeah, we have to
take
go
care
be
of
a
your daughter.
good dad and take care of our daughter. So,
See,
you know, Young's room's up here, and oh no, oh geez, oh gosh, oh damn, this isn't good. It's really not good. Oh no, nothing bad is supposed to happen in this JRPG.
where is my daughter? Dale, you said my daughter was going to be fine. Dale, where is my daughter?
Your daughter is not here. She's in the library that we were just at.
You're not supposed to lose my daughter, Dale.
I'll get your daughter back, because she's in this library that we were just in and could have seen her in, if she was here.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. She's always at the library. Hey, Popola, where's my daughter?
So in case somehow you
this?
couldn't read that slow text mashing,
Damn it, Yona.
So we asked
the
Popola,
Eastern
because
Gate.
Popola knows everything. And I do mean Popola knows everything. Don't worry about it. She just does. Turns out she told her that the flowers grew near what's called the Lost Shrine, and the flowers being the
lunar tier.
the lunar tier. That's what they're called. And
Yes.
apparently, if you find one, you get to make a wish, and it'll come true. So Popola, being an idiot, told her that there was a lunar tier growing near the Lost Shrine, which is a very shade-ridden area. So Yona is probably dead, and we're very concerned. So we're gonna bash our
by
head into the
shades-
ground multiple times, because that's exactly what this rolling animation looks like.
By shades, we do mean the enemy, and not that it's just like a shady, shifty place.
No, any shade in this game kills you instantly. We're dead right now.
Absolutely.
So I was supposed to roll immediately there. I got like half a roll off. Saves a bit of automatic walking. So there's a ladder here. We don't like ladders.
Oh yeah, no. Popola, she's a really good person and wouldn't do anything to ever misguide us.
I want to make it abundantly clear that we are the good guys in this game. Abundantly,
much
that
so.
cannot be misconstrued at all. Gosh, my voice is already dying.
What are you talking about? Kaine is an absolute angel, and we are glad to have her.
Kaine is best girl. So there's a door there, but we're gonna go get a key first. This is the only time in the game that we have to go this far out of our way to get a key.
I'm coming, Yona.
But for some reason they did this.
You're supposed to explore. Why aren't you looking around, Dale? It's all
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yes, you can look around at the very impressive building, but you know what you're gonna find? Healing items, nothing else. So this game has a lot of exploration potential, and in most cases, there's no reason for it. It's almost like they put in areas to be like quest objectives, and then they just never had time to fill them out. Like, there's a room in this area that you can go to and get healing items from, but there's not a single main or side quest that takes you there. But all you get is healing items. There's no like special weapon or special type of item. It is only healing herbs. Yeah, I would have played the intro, but it's very raunchy. If we have time at the end and the marathon host is okay with it, we can play it, but that'll be a long time off. It is a very good intro, though, so I would like to show it off if possible. That's gonna depend on how rusty I am, though. Oh, you missed. So the answer is very rusty.
What is practice?
I don't know, what is practice?
Obviously.
You tell me.
Not that thing that I told you to do.
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh, that's only happened one other time. I just got pushed off the ledge by one of the invisible walls that just are kind of in this game. So yeah, remember when I said I was rusty? You have to be like pretty close to that ladder. If I would have just walked on and eaten the animation, then we would have been fine, but I tried to go a second faster. The good news is the enemies don't respawn. Yeah, we gotta reset now. We're only, what, 15 to 20 minutes in. It's fine. This is a world record attempt. I'm not leaving until I get world record.
Please no.
Nah, that's not nearly enough time to put us over estimate. The estimate is pretty generous, actually, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do new or old timing. But,
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
So,
yeah. And we are ahead of schedule right now, so it's whatever.
I mean, how to...
Your mic is having some fun. Ayana? You die? You okay? Ayana? Alright, well, I guess I'm alone now. What's up, gamers? My co-commentator died. Yeah, so the voice actors in this game are really good. Okay, but my rolling is not really good. But yeah, Laura Bailey absolutely nails Kaine, and Liam 100% nails Vice. Like, as far as English dubs of a Japanese game, this is easily my favorite ever. Just ever. Doesn't get better than this. Alright.
There we go.
Oh, you made it back. You're not
Yeah,
dead.
I switched
Ooh.
on to 5G.
Nice. Alright. So we finally made it to the roof of the Lost Shrine. Kinda. Can I say rise up? Hell yeah, I can. Rise up, gamers. We live in a society. This post is sponsored by Gangweed.
Oh my god. Congratulations, it's midnight.
It's 1 a.m. Imagine being an hour behind. This post was made by Eastern Standard Time gang.
Are you gonna skip the ladder?
I am gonna skip the ladder.
Are you sure?
No. So coming up is a jump I like to call tutorial skip because it skips the tutorial. And I almost got it, but I didn't. And I'm having a lot of trouble with this box because it has round edges, even though it's a box. Once again, we really don't like ladders. We're gonna get a free heal from that, and we're gonna head in here.
How are these things?
So we're gonna
Yes.
ignore the enemies,
There's our daughter.
and we're gonna absolutely demolish these iron statues here because we really don't like how they look.
Yona.
And we're gonna
What's
talk
this?
to a
A
book, because
book?
that's fine.
So,
That's perfectly normal, just a talking book.
Once I destroy these shades, the magic barrier.
Nothing weird going on here.
There's a magical barrier that's blocking me from my daughter.
Yeah, allegedly the book is able to break it, but the book also forgot how to do all of its magical power stuff because it's been sitting in this building for 1,312 years, much like another transition we had earlier. Huh, I wonder what could be up with that. Surely nothing.
It also seems pretty weird how this boy and our previous father that we were playing in the Nocturlog look exactly the same.
Yeah, because they're the same guy.
Obviously, but it's been so long.
No, we
How
just
could
time
we be
traveled. We just immediately time traveled. Surely.
But why is society so different, and why does it look so strange?
I don't know, we live in a society, I don't know. Okay, there we go. We finally killed enough of them. Okay. Luckily, they were all grouped up now, so we can just kill them real quickly like this. Yeah, so pick off the last ones with that.
Is that all?
So you'll notice that if you've played this game before, you'll notice that the way I'm using Dark Blast looks just a little bit different and weird. The first attack of Dark Blast is actually like twice as powerful as the regular attack when you hold it. So by spamming the button it's mapped to, I can actually get a lot more damage out of Dark Blast. Not to mention it fires significantly faster this way.
That sounds bad.
Enemies with such barriers are impervious to both weapons and magic.
Alright, so these guys are Hansel and Gretel, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Barriers in place. Focus your attack.
And we're just gonna kill them. They're not important.
Learn the pattern of
They're just blocking us from our daughter.
We are 100% the good guys in this game. There's
Absolutely.
no moral ambiguity in a lot of this game.
You sure you know what you're doing there?
They kidnapped our daughter, and we're getting her back. It's as simple as that.
attack with all your might.
Yeah, this game will kill your hands.
They are naught but a horde of faceless minions. Shot them aside. The small ones are a constant annoyance.
A good
What are you
recommendation
talking about?
for getting good at this game actually is playing rhythm games. Because, like, if you play a lot of rhythm games, your fingers will be able to handle non-stop inputs for 4 hours. You know I'm right. Everyone go play Project Diva right now. Actually,
Is
no,
that-
in 3 hours. Wait, no. After next weekend when this marathon ends, then go play Project Diva.
Is that your rhythm game plug of the night?
One of the many.
Oh god.
Strimmer, is there any stopping in this run? No, sir. Nobody stops.
Stopping? That's for the
No
weak.
one stops. I would yell it, but I don't want to wake up my family.
Such a good son. Also, yeah, high spirits, go to bed.
No,
Just
but he
go.
has to stay
Go to
up.
bed, please.
He has to
yeah.
stay up. It's his marathon.
No. Let him sleep.
High spirits go to bed. So we're gonna go talk to Best Girl now. Sup, Devla?
Devil.
So she's singing about 2 books, but like, she doesn't really know what the song means. She just knows it's about 2 books. So now we're gonna go ask Popola, who knows everything.
Popola is the wiki of this game.
Yeah.
A white book, a black book.
Popola.wikia.net.
Something wrong.
Just think.
When the Great Black Book
In any block.
So now it's side quest time.
Oh god.
Let's not forget
Yes.
the boar quest.
Dustin is totally right. Popola and Devila did absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah, there's no moral ambiguity in this game at all.
But I must say, that song of hers is a rather catchy number. I can see why the bards kept it alive through the eons.
She knows what she knows, which is everything.
Do you often get asked to handle such inane shopping trips?
I don't think these trips are inane. Everyone has a tough around.
Hello.
They give me on it to work?
Oh yeah, you'll also notice that briefly you could see the Beastbane sword, which you might remember as being a sword that exists in Nier Automata.
Yeah, a lot of the weapons in this game are rehashed in Automata and then some, because a lot of the weapons in this game are also from Drakengard. I think. Maybe.
Well, yeah, because isn't there a flyer in Automata about this strange, ambiguous figure called Accord and her weapons shop?
Yeah, it might be. But we don't know that.
No, we don't know anything about that.
Vice? Hell, you may be able to save the whole damn world. I'm almost glad we met.
I told you you'd met.
Oh yeah, so, screw the world, we need our daughter.
You really should treat omnipotent magical beings with more respect.
I'm trying to think if there's actually anything else to talk about right now. I
I
still
mean,
haven't
we could
gotten...
talk about this weird magic and how it just kind of is here, and it looks kind of like shades.
Yeah, but red.
Takes to save
But
red.
before we do that, I do want to step back. I did tell everyone in chat to type out a 4-sentence minimum essay on how their day went, and I've still not seen a
I
single one.
should be offended.
They're thinking really hard about this assignment, okay?
Yeah, I mean they gotta pass their Dale class. So
Because
they
we
can-
all need Dale's approval.
Yeah, everyone. Because I'm the only speedrunner.
The only speedrunner. God Gamer Dale.
Alright, so
He
there's a
doesn't
thing I
mess
can
up.
do here. Yeah, I've not messed up a single time this entire night.
Who the hell does
So there's a thing I can do here. So when the camera pans out like that, I can still move. So if I get the angle right here, I can be on the bridge before the camera pans back, but I didn't get it. RIP 2-second time save.
I mean, let's be real.
Ooh, we got
Everyone's fault just kinda.
Yo, Gloomy Rube, thank you for the essay. Much appreciated, my dude. That is a 97. Yeah, not quite A+ material, but it is 100% A material. So congratulations on having the highest grade in the class.
Well, we're here from... Wait, listen to...
Yo, that is a 99 right there, Callaway. Alright, serious time.
It would appear there
That's it.
are no powerful shades here. We'll see what
Alright, I'm just gonna go
GG.
for the safety strat. I was too far left.
We'll talk to Pope and figure out...
Hey, at least you didn't hit the infinite death plane.
You're right. I didn't fall through the map, eh? Yo, KKMO just got a 100%.
All of you have such wonderful essays.
Yeah, not a single person's gotten below an A so far. Wow, really putting in the extra effort right there, Digi Diamond? Demon. Probably.
Damon.
Damon. There we go. Thank you, Ayana. So we're gonna go look at
Oh
these
my.
flowers for some reason.
Could
Will I
these
get the
be?
god kinda?
What are you waiting for,
Nope.
fool?
It's
Attacker?
over.
So,
Okay, maybe
this
I got
beautiful
it.
woman is Kaine.
She has clothes on.
She does. She is the love of all of our lives,
Is that
but
all?
also she doesn't care about us. But she really cares about us, but she doesn't really care
By
about
my
us.
very pages, this girl wields magic. This woman is certainly not to be
She is, I believe,
God waver.
they call a tsundere without the dere.
Oh, fantastic.
So this is Hook. Captain Hook.
Praise the Uno Master.
Beware the
Kaine is very well mannered, correct.
So this is supercharging. The idea is that every time you kill a timer, if there's not a cutscene after it, your magic bar will refill. but as it's refilling, if you draw from it, it will continue refilling until it reaches 100%. So if you start charging a spell before it's done recharging, you'll be able to go over your total magic capacity. So you'll see I'll get 5 spears right into his face right here.
That thing is huge. This will be your most difficult battle to make. Ready your gun.
Die! 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 I'm gonna pull out the teeth
camera.
and cram them up your ass!
Alright, there we go. That's the boss. We finally are about to get one of the best things in the game that we already saw earlier. My favorite attack, most people's favorite attack, Dark Hand. There is 0 downtime in Nier. I have to have my hands on the controller the entire run.
Oh. If that part goes, shut it down like all the rest.
Got 2 bottles of water here. I don't know if we have Stay Hydrated bot in this chat, but if we do, they would be very pleased.
I also have water, because I decided that Dr. Pepper would be a bad idea.
So we're gonna replace Defend with Dark Lance because we need to block attacks.
Not us. We dodge like the god gamer we are.
So now we're gonna go kill a boar because we're bored. Haha.
It wasn't even a good pun.
Leave this place alive.
You know what, Ayano? You're not good.
Cannot prevail if you are blinded with rage.
Think that's a wild
2 can
boar.
play at that game.
So aggressive.
Pretty angry.
That was a great one.
You're just beating up on this poor, defenseless boar.
Because we're bored.
A stupid pig be so strong. It doesn't make sense.
No, Dale. Now you're bored.
No, he is, because he just got owned. Or I guess he got bored.
Your hands are on the controller, so where is your dark hand?
On the controller.
On the controller.
There must be a sealed verse inside that enormous shade. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, we could barely hold it off. And we had
Oh
to
yeah,
throw
so
it
we're
up.
trying to find these things called sealed
Need to get
verses,
strong.
I think.
Yeah, so basically the general structure of the game is we find all 8 sealed verses, and each one has a corresponding magic, and then we beat the final boss of the game. And that's the end of the game. You don't have anything to say about that?
Not really. That's standard RPG logic. Go to place, kill the thing,
So I
and get other thing.
So quick side note, I almost went to Popola. If I do go and talk to Popola right now, before I talk to Yona, I lose 5 minutes. So it's very
yeah.
important that I don't do that.
Our daughter is sick, by the way, now with this thing called dark. Or is it dark or black scroll?
Black scroll.
Black scroll. And it's a deadly disease, and they don't know what causes it, and it's real bad. Like, so we have to do everything we can to figure out how to save her, because getting these sealed verses is going to help us save her somehow, because that's what Popola told us, and Popola knows everything.
So, yeah, when we talked to Popola earlier about the 2-book song, she basically told us find all 8 sealed verses and bring the white and black book together, and the world will be cured of the, oh shit, I forgot something. Will be cured of the Black Scroll. However, I actually like this rendition more. Pythonicus in chat says that Nier 1 is actually just a dark reimagining of Reading Rainbow. I think I still forgot to turn in that quest. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Figure it out. It's important.
Yeah, there it is. Now we got the 500 gold. Have you tried turning Yona off and on again? Well, we can't do that, because she's a human, right?
Absolutely.
There is, and I'm going to throw this out there with no context, but there is an implication that every time Nier leaves the village, Yona actually dies and gets replaced with another Yona. I don't know if you knew about that one, Ayano.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah,
But
because
you
when
know
the
what,
replicants
actually,
die, they do replace them.
we aren't talking about that yet.
Right, but I'm putting this out there with no context so that nobody knows what I'm talking about unless they played the game.
Implication? Well, I mean, do you want us to just come out and start saying things about
What am I
theories?
doing,
Because
dude? It's way too hot in my room. I'm getting delirious. I have to go turn in the boar quest so I can show this off. I'm glad the estimate's a bit generous.
oh, board drifting?
Yeah, I need to go show this off. Yeah, I'm forgetting like the small details, but once we get to the boss rush portion of the game, it'll be all good. Because those are the parts I actually practice. So here we are. There we go. So if you've never seen this game before, you know nothing about this game. You know you can ride animals in Nier Automata. That is a stolen mechanic from the superior Nier, the better Nier game. Because this one does animal riding better.
Does it? Does
Yes,
it really?
it really does. But we're not finding out yet, so we have to do this mandatory side quest. So here's your little...
Just let him die.
Right, but you're not allowed. If you haven't gotten a single gold drop, this is gonna be atrocious. So, yeah, you just ride in a straight line with the boar. Nothing weird at all. Nothing
If there's
unusual
anything
about
that we
riding
hope
a
to
boar.
accomplish, it's getting, creating a mod for this game where riding or running in the 90s plays while you're
Yeah.
on the boar.
I really want to get like a playlist of Eurobeat and have it like play one every time. Just grab a random one while you're on the boar, and I feel like if I knew how, if I could like extract the files, I might be able to work on that. But nobody really understands anything about this game.
Well, that's because it was such a masterfully made game, right?
Right, it's very budget. It probably wouldn't be hard. I just don't know how to do it. So anyway, this is fishing.
Oh god.
So fishing in this game is also funny. This was a budget title, and I imagine the translators don't really know a whole lot. So anyway, what that text box there just told us is that while we're fishing, we have to pull towards the fish, or away from the fish, like in the opposite direction it's moving. So like if it's going left, you pull right. That's what it was. But what you actually have to do is pull towards your character.
Also, it's not immediately obvious where you're actually supposed to fish. So
Had to
if you're
focus
not
there
paying
for a second.
attention,
Yeah, so like they give you the fishing rod over there, but the thing about it is you have to fish on this beach. So unless you're paying attention to the mini-map at all times, you're not going to know that you have to go over here. Also, I just got really bad RNG. Like, really bad RNG. I've never seen a rusty bucket from this beach.
oh my god,
What just happened, Ayano?
is that a this has never happened before?
It actually is. Okay, now we
Yeah.
got it.
Fishing in Automata is easy and nice.
Yeah,
Fishing in
one
this
not so
game is
much.
annoying.
Alright, second try. That's less than optimal. I'm gonna have to reset. Sorry, guys. We're only, what, 40 minutes in? So I'm gonna do a side quest here, because we're already so far behind.
Father, you forgot your lunch.
I don't even know what happens in this section because I don't like it that much.
Okay, so Professor Dale will take over with the lore here. So there's an old lady here, and her husband died, and she's been waiting to get a letter from said husband. But the postman doesn't like this old lady because she's always really angry. So it falls on us to grab it from the mailman and deliver it to her.
You might be asking, what does any of this have to do with the fish?
Nothing. The fish is actually
Absolutely.
medicine for our daughter. But I don't really know how that works. Like, you just eat a fish and suddenly all your chronic pain goes away? I don't think so. I wish, but no. Like, imagine me being able to fish and then eat the fish, and then my cough would just be gone. Like, imagine how dope
That would be
but
amazing.
we don't live in that kind of society. Gamers and also people with chronic pain need to rise up and fight
Get
back
these
against our
fish.
oppression. Yeah, rise and grind, gamers. Let's get this fish.
Was it Popola that told us to get the fish?
Yes.
Oh yes, and
But if
Popola
we talk-
obviously
yeah.
knows all.
But if we talk to Popola first, she sends us to a completely different area where I'm not nearly equipped enough to actually fight what I need to fight. And then don't forget, I need 3 bounty fertilizers, and then 1 strength drop and 6. Okay, that'll work. Can you lay
Rise
down
up
instead?
later.
You'll rise up later. Well, you have a deadline of tomorrow night at midnight, but you can push it off as long as you get it done. Turn it in to Professor Dale. Alright, so more normal boar riding with real human physics.
Yes.
Realistic depiction of bull riding. Very realistic. If you listened closely there, you would have heard me just run into an invisible wall. And I think we're finally done with side quests until I take one for safety far later that I'm way more practiced with.
Yep.
Alright, so we should almost certainly be good for Beastbane. I'm gonna regret saying that later, but here we are. I'm almost gonna finally get to talk about money like I promised 20 minutes ago. Maybe even 30 minutes ago. Is it this one? Yeah, it's both of these, that's right. I don't run this game with notes. I used to, but now I just kind of have to memorize which ones I need to pick up. Because every chapter in the game, you get different items throughout the house, and you have to remember which ones are useful and which ones are really pointless.
Alright, now our daughter's sitting up. She's feeling a little bit better, but it's not cured.
Yeah, I mean, see, if you rose up, well SJC, I'm trying to like look at chat while also rolling and it's not going well, but if you woke up your kittens just to rise up against the oppressive society, you would have gotten negative points on your assignment. So, it's probably better for you to just not rise up. I'll give you a bit of an
See-
extension on the assignment. I'll give you an extra day to rise up.
See, Professor Dale is one of those cool professors who he lets his students use his first name because he thinks that he's a cool boy. Yes. Case reports start showing up. So you'll notice during the loading screens, normally there's little diary entries from Yona talking about her day. Like, oh, I talked to Popola today and she told me this cool story. And you just saw a case file, which kind of gives you an inkling of, this seems odd.
So
What's going on?
Real quick gameplay thing. We're introduced to the tavern now, where Devila sits and sings and gives us different locations for side quests. We don't need them because where was I going with that? Oh yeah, we already know where they are, and we also don't do side quests for the most part because they're slow. It's really hot in my room. I'm getting very delirious, but I can't really get up and close a vent or anything. I feel like I was gonna say something else too. Oh yeah, the case reports. So those aren't supposed to show up until a certain plot important location later in the game. But I loaded up a New Game Plus file earlier before the marathon run so that I could practice a little bit, because there's a kind of hard jump that I'm gonna have to do later on in the run. So
You bonked.
yeah. Well, I'm supposed to bonk there anyway, because it's actually faster to bonk to exit the board than stopping and getting off. The animation is like a second faster. But, yeah, so normally the case files don't show up, but because I already loaded a save where we're past that point, then they're gonna show up regardless of if I start a new game or not.
We'll talk about them when we get to them. The best of boys. Yes.
So this is Gideon and Jacob. They're two brothers that run this weapon upgrade shop alongside their mother, who is 100% alive. There's no tragedies in this game.
No, not at all.
And they tell us, hey, we can upgrade your sword, but first you have to get the items for us, because we're lazy idiots who don't want to go get the items for you, even though that's kind of our job. So I can finally talk about money. This area has a different type of enemy from the rest of the game, and that is robots. Every time you kill a robot, they drop an item. We want these items because these items can be sold for money.
Now we bust them up and take the part.
So every time I kill a robot, I'm going to go out of my way to get the item drop, even though it's technically slower. If I miss a few, it's fine, but if I miss a lot, then I lose a lot of time. Because weapons are also very important in this game. Rare items. Wow, we just got a rare item. That doesn't usually happen.
It makes up for the thick dictionaries you didn't get.
Didn't get a single thick dictionary. I'm honestly kind of disappointed.
I'm sure of it.
How tight is the money routing in this?
So, in the first half, it's very tight. In the second half, I'm going to completely mitigate any type of money routing for the sake of safety.
We're just going for ending A because we don't want to be here till the end of time.
There is a longer category for true ending that I'm the only person that runs, but hey, I got the world record.
You're the only person that runs it because you're the only person who can find that amount
So
of
I
time
actually
that
do
is
have
Persona
4
run.
world records in this game. So I have a world record in fanfic percent, true ending, new game plus B, and soft lock percent.
Oh. Did you have to bring up fanfic percent?
Yeah, I did. That's the best run of this game there is. Like, it just doesn't get better than that.
Softlock percent is when Dale discovered not one, but two softlocks. One was for a skip that you use in True Ending, which obviously he is the only runner of, which causes the game to softlock at the very end, where you type in, or no, so it's after you enter in the name for the final time, right?
Yes. So, basically, what happens? What the? Oh, wait! Hold up. Not again. Not again. Alright, remember when I said I might be underestimate? So one of the titanium alloys didn't spawn. This is the second time. I actually have to leave the entire area and go all the way back through. But hey, we're gonna be fine for Beastbane.
Oh my god.
This is ridiculous. It happened in my very first marathon run of this game, and I was like sweating bullets because, you know, my first marathon run and also something weird happened. But now I'm just very annoyed.
I guess I can take this time to continue talking about, what was it, softlock percent? So essentially at the ending of the game, it like goes through all the stuff that you've collected, I think.
Yeah. So what
And it, like-
happens is, so if you've played Nier Automata and you've gotten to ending E, you'll know something happens involving, it's kind of like fourth wall breaking. You have an option to either do or not do something. This game has the same thing, and it actually shows itself doing that thing. I'm trying to be very vague on purpose in case people are playing Automata. But, anyway, it's a kind of long, unskippable cutscene at the very end of a 7-hour speedrun, and it froze at the very end, which meant it was not a legitimate run.
Fanfic percent, to be correct, that was the run that made us friends, right?
Yes, it was, because you were the one sending us all the fanfiction.
So, I may or may not have, during the true ending run of Nier, what was it? It was, what marathon was that?
That was ARPG Made too.
AR, yeah. So, there's like a real dip in the action and people get really tired, obviously in a 7-hour run really late at night. And so I was like, hey, I wonder if there's fan fiction of OG Nier. And of course there is, because why isn't there? And so because they were looking for something to do and there was a lot of people around, I was like, hey, what if you guys just started reading the fan fiction? And so they did. And so we read a bunch of embarrassing fan fiction with voice acting and narrators.
Yeah, we consider D the true ending.
And then we finished off by reading the canon books written by Yoko Taro, because there is supplemental reading to the Nier and Drakengard series.
Okay, this time it actually spawned. We made it out of Junk Heap 1.
Yes, it
Yes,
was on
it
Marathon.
was on a marathon. You probably do remember it. I especially remember the part where I was brain dead, and suddenly Mash just screamed at the top of his lungs, and I started dying, because it snapped me out of my trance. But yeah, someone earlier mentioned that this should be bucket percent, and it is. So this is going to be the bucket percent world record.
You're gonna have to run that one by MASH.
No, I'm going to have to run it by myself. I'm a leaderboard mod now.
No. I mean, ARPG Me is not a PG-13 marathon, and so it was okay.
She said she'd be
But no, this will not become a fanfic run.
Ayano. I'm very excited right now because someone just said something that makes me a very happy day when it's true. According to Stream Hatman, Sino Alice might be coming to the West.
Excuse me?
It's a mobile game directed by Yoko Taro.
Yoko Taro did a what now?
A mobile game, a gacha game. It's
Why
like
am I
Grand
nuts?
Blue, but depressing as shit. My bad. Depressing as jank. There we go. Getting a little bit tired. That's my bad. I know I probably have some leeway because this is a more vulgar game, but I'm trying my best. You all have phones, right? Okay, I guess it's confirmed. I am very happy right now.
I mean, what else would he play those rhythm games on that he's not technically allowed to play anymore?
DaleDukk doesn't have a phone. Very, very true.
I mean, yeah, Dale is in fact a legitimate duck. What are you talking about?
Yeah, how am I gonna use a phone if I don't even have hands? Reminder that you need both hands at all times to play Nier and Gestalt.
Plus the third dark hand.
This might be a little bit obscure of a reference, but if anyone's ever seen Princess Tutu, I am Princess Tutu from that.
my God,
Like, if you just imagine that, that's what I am.
Oh, why did I... We still need to watch more of that.
Actually, it did include the real Kaine story that sounds like a fanfic. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I feel like that's a bit raunchy for PG-13.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah,
not actually
no.
going to talk about what happens in that one. I'm just going to leave it to your imagination and also tell you where to find it if you want to know. When do we get to see me in a dance battle? I don't know, do you have a webcam near you right now? We could do it during the one of the unskippables.
I do, but I don't want to.
Yeah, let's not. I don't want to either.
It's too late.
True.
I'm so tired.
It does Omniflare. You found me out. I'm actually gonna be in Kingdom Hearts 3. In fact, right after this, I'm driving over to Square Enix headquarters and I'm gonna record some voice lines for them. But anyway, I said I was going to tell you where to find the story, so that was amazing what just happened right there. So if you look up Grimoire Nier, and you want like Grimoire Nier fan translation, you'll find a wiki page with a link to a Google Docs, and that will be a full English translation of the Japanese exclusive world guide for this game. There's a lot of cool stuff. Oh, well, I already screwed up the quick kill, but that's fine.
Who needs quick kills when you have skill?
Yeah, I'm gonna get like a slightly slower quick kill. Normally you can kill these hands before the lasers even come out, but we're gonna be a little bit late.
Be aware of your surroundings.
We're gonna be a lot late.
No mere machine
There
can
we go.
defy us. How about you stop talking and start helping?
This machine is quite a handful.
Oh yeah, Lyse is very chatty all the time.
Yeah, one of the best parts in this game is just like the in-battle and in-overworld dialogue between the characters. You can get a lot of the story that way, you get a lot of the character, you get all the character interactions that way pretty much, and you have a lot of fun, because this game, despite being very depressing, is also very funny. A lot like another Yoko Taro game that's called Drakengard 3 that I don't recommend playing. I recommend watching a playthrough, I don't recommend owning the game.
That's very true. Much like Yoko Taro himself, a very depressed but funny person.
Yeah, that's why all of his stories are that way. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
It does make a lot of sense. Hey, it could be worse. It could be Drakengard 1.
It could be Drakengard 1, but Drakengard 3 is also a very bad video game.
Why did they have platforming in that game? Why do they have platforming in any of these games?
This game is fine, actually. They somehow regressed to something worse in Drakengard 3. I don't know how they pulled it off.
The best part is that Drakengard 3 actually actively makes fun of it.
Yeah, it's like they knew but they didn't have time to fix it, so they're just like, haha, platforming sucks.
We don't talk about Drakengard 2.
Yeah, Drakengard 2 does exist. I don't know, I see people talking about Drakengard 2. I do think it's a little weird they went directly from 1 to 3, but I'm not Yoko Taro. I didn't come up with that. And people talk about Drakengard 2 like it's real, and no, it's just it's fake. It's not. But anyway, that was a glitch we did there, just kind of passively, without me explaining it. So you're supposed to throw, that's supposed to be a 5-phase cycle phase of the boss, where you wait for the missiles and then you throw a bomb in its mouth. But because of the properties of Dark Hand, that is, they forgot to program the part of Dark Hand that collides with walls. So you can just kind of go through the wall around the head of Geppetto, the name of that boss, and you can do it in 2 cycles instead of 5. There's also a mythical 1 cycle, but we've only seen 1 person pull it off, and we no longer have footage of it. So it's pretty neat. We're trying to figure out how to replicate it, but nobody knows how to do it. So if someone can figure it out, I'll give you like $5 if we meet up at a marathon. I'll buy you McDonald's.
This boy be poor.
Let's visit the area. They've got shades there.
Indeed. And we may just find a sealed verse besides.
So how goes the non-existent routing for your legendary Drakengard 3 true ending run?
Well, the true ending of that game is taking the disc out to the curb and taking a hammer to it. So at some point I'll record that and upload it to SRCom. Best sandwich to buy at McDonald's? I mean, large Big Mac meal is always what I get, so either that or 10-piece nugs.
You came to help me?
Yes, and I
Like,
do believe
McDonald's nugs are pretty good. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I know, back me up.
I don't agree with your food choices, like, all the time.
Alright, what do you get at McDonald's then, Ayano?
I don't eat at McDonald's.
Imagine not eating at McDonald's in 2018. Like,
I
what
eat
if
at
you, okay,
Wendy's.
what if
They're
you
all over the
find
village, too.
the what if you find the 1 cycle? I'm gonna have to buy you McDonald's, but you don't eat McDonald's.
I'll eat their cheeseburgers.
2 or 3 McDoubles? Oh my gosh, this man is a lifesaver. That's actually like a really good idea. That's like triple the value.
Keep your guard raised. I'll try to keep that.
See?
I can't believe my
More people
co-commentator
don't.
and my restreamer are both horrible at making
Right
food
hell,
choices.
asshole.
Excuse you, you think that Waffle House is the greatest thing in
Waffle
existence?
House is the greatest thing in existence. Someone in chat back me up. Waffle House is amazing.
God, I can't believe that I'm going to have to fight you the moment I meet you in person.
I'm gonna have to fight you.
Let's be real here. Between the two of us, who would win?
The guy who does a lot of heavy lifting at work, because he's an IT guy who does all the manual labor. I also eat Waffle House, which makes me a big, strong boy. Okay, thank you. Thank you, KKM.
Because I always know where the bathroom is.
People, please shut up and let her save your lives.
Don't defend me.
See, there's so many people backing me up. You can buy
I
a
hate
gun at
all of
Waffle
you.
House. I mean, not from Waffle House, but at Waffle House, yes. Like, Waffle House won't sell you a gun, but you can go to Waffle House and get a gun, if you get what I'm saying. Like, Waffle House is a really shady place. I'm half joking when I say it's a good restaurant. Like, the food is good, but you do not want to be there.
I did once tell someone, hey, let's make bad decisions and go make out in a Waffle House parking lot. Lamau, we didn't do it because there's no Waffle Houses where we were.
That's a big yikes. There should at least be one Waffle House in every area. Can we get a ban on Ogre 900? I'm
Better
kidding.
not, boy.
Okay, there's a lot of really bad movement going on. So this area sucks because you're in 2D with platforming, and the 2D in this game is still kind of 3D. So a lot of your projectiles just kind of miss.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about what's going on with this boss. Also, Kaine's here.
There is a pretty neat little skip, but other than that, it's just been business as usual, spamming Dark Hand until things die.
My grandmother would never say that. She never.
So when this guy, when Hulk starts glowing green like that, he becomes invincible. But if you jump off the edge, it'll skip a phase where he does like a jumping puzzle. So that's like a 5-second time save just for falling off the side. We discovered that on accident, as you probably can imagine. But like seriously, where else can you get like 3 to 5 pounds of hash browns for $3? I don't think there's another place.
Kaine's gonna die. We gotta go save her.
I know. We have to save her by getting her Waffle House to go.
She's a life, meaning, worth. We're gonna save her. Everyone is
Just don't fall off or... Oh wait, no, that's later in the run where you can kick enemies off one of the bridges and they don't hit a kill zone and so you get soft locked.
There is one cutscene I really do want to show off, but the problem is it's 7 minutes and we've also, you know, lost like 10 minutes to bad stuff happening.
Which cutscene?
The one after Nobody Stops. The really cool one. The really sad one where Best Boy dies, question mark.
Question mark. Yes.
Yeah, you know the one.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like 10 minutes long, it's kind of ridiculous.
The one that makes me cry. We'll just tell him to go watch it.
Yeah, if you break any rules during the next chapter of the game, you get a free ban in chat. Because we take our rules very seriously.
So serious.
Cool.
Are you kidding me? McDonald's that aren't 24 hours? Where do you live?
The dining rooms where I live aren't 24 hours, but the drive-thrus are.
Yeah.
So, there are 1,114,346 rules we have to abide by for the next 40 minutes, and if you break a single one of them, you're gone. You're out of here, one strike, and that's it. You're out of the ballpark. One of the rules is that you have to like Waffle House. That's rule 114,034. So Ayano gets a free ban.
Fight me.
So what's Facade like?
Okay, speaking of Tim Hortons being 24 hours, this is the worst. So last year, I went to a speedrunning marathon in St. Catharines, Ontario,
Let's go.
and it was a parking lot away from a Tim Hortons.
Look out!
However, this Tim Hortons was not 24 hours,
It is known as a scorpion.
and we were
That's a
all very
tragedy.
bothered.
Wait,
It was very tragic.
That one appears to
Hey,
be the pack
that
leader.
wolf, it's a shade.
That wolf, it's a shade.
Also, doggos all over the place.
Yeah. I'm poisoned, but that's fine because we're on easy. Be attractive and don't be unattractive. Alright.
Yeah, well, Dale gets a ban.
The
Well, I
lens.
guess nobody can finish the run now.
wait.
Ah, yes. The lazy river.
Come on, guys. Help me out here.
I am a brilliant book of unspeakable value. On some dog-eared
Also,
travel guide.
excuse you, Ayano, I am the most beautiful princess. I'll have you know.
That's also true. Dale is a princess.
Okay, you are banning anyone who is unattractive or doesn't like Waffle House. Get on it. Oh yeah, there is a rule that the shops are alphabetized. That is a thing, but we're not going to get to see that because we skipped the tour. There's also Fear Escape. That one's fun.
It's a house made out of waffles. Here we are on the lazy river. And here we aren't on the lazy river.
But anyway, we've been kinda ignoring the plot to talk about Waffle House and rules. So, what's happening now is we think the king of a place called Facade might know about the cure for the Black Scrawl, because the king had it and they were working on a cure. But it turns out the king's dead. So now we're gonna buy Beastbane, because what else do you do when you find out that a character died? Okay, we easily made it. I knew that. Okay, so Fira skip. Fira walks very slowly, and we don't like that. somehow. I just royally messed up, but that's fine. I just overwrote a save I was working on earlier. I think I have another one though. I better have another one because I don't wanna get level 4 Phoenix Spear again. But anyway, now Fira is teleported all the way to where she needs to be.
Oh, magic.
Looks like all those rules.
This is on Xbox 360.
Their way
The game is on PS3 and Xbox 360, but it's faster on 360 because of load times, and also a lot less lag.
Oh yeah, there's Kaine just kind of chilling.
So anyway,
She's not allowed in the city.
yeah. So we just found out that the prince went missing. So now we are gonna go to the temple of something or other, because people who live in Facade are prohibited by rule to go to whatever temple this is, but outsiders are not. So we're gonna meddle in other countries' affairs, because why not?
Well, obviously, because we need to do everything that we can to save our daughter. She's
But
very
this
sick.
doesn't have anything to do with saving our daughter. It more has to do with the fact that Kaine will not leave until we save the prince. Anyway, we're just gonna run on ahead of Fira because, you know, she's kind of slow. We might as well just stand here and, oh, Jesus. There she is. She turned into Sonic, I guess. So that was Fira Skip 2. Electric Boogaloo. And now we have to walk with her, because if we get too far away from her, we get sent back to the beginning of this area.
Beware the wolves.
I love waiting around and doing nothing for 2.5 minutes. It's my favorite part of this area.
But you gotta beware the
I
wolves.
open my mouth, the sand rushes inside.
But if you gotta beware the wolves. Do you think about that one? No, I bet you didn't.
Deal with
I bet there's a wolf in your room right now about to attempt to eat you, but you wouldn't even know because you weren't bewaring of the wolves. What do you think about them apples?
Beware the
Excuse you, the wolf in my house is upstairs, sleeping.
arguing about rules and follow Fira's lead.
This is pretty well documented facts, right? So wolves only eat humans who don't like Waffle House. I'm not gonna stop now. You've got me on a Waffle House train.
We should have never brought up Waffle House.
I really hope someone's watching this at Waffle House with speakers on. That way I can finally get my Waffle House sponsorship.
Oh gosh.
Okay, will he get it? Will he get the legendary single hit?
Oh yeah, also, as you clearly see there, Kaine does this thing where she Naruto runs. Not important, doesn't matter. Just
Oh
thought
yeah.
I'd mention.
Yeah, kinda Naruto runs.
Beware the wolves.
Will he do it? Is he gonna do it? Oh my gosh, he did it.
Extreme patriotism.
I didn't think I would.
Look how she gives all.
Also, I like how they give you the fighting wolves tutorial after you kill the last wolf of the run. For at least a while, anyway. What about the International House band cakes? Oh, band cakes. You mean like the ones I'm giving out to anyone who doesn't like Waffle House? Got 'em. IHOP is pretty good too, though. Like, not gonna front.
I like pancakes.
Like, I really just like breakfast food. Like, the fact of the matter is, breakfast food is the best type of food.
I could totally, after we finish this, just go and eat some IHOP. That sounds like a good time, but I won't.
So this is an interesting dungeon.
I like that hot take. Pancakes are better than waffles.
Right, well, I disagree.
What was that supposed
That's alright.
So the naked person running behind us is Kaine. Fan favorite character. My favorite character.
Excuse you, she's clothed.
No, no, you're right. My bad. So in this room, we're not allowed to jump. Each room in this dungeon has like a gimmick, something you're not allowed to do. Until you break the pink cube, and then you're allowed to do it. So remember when I said that you need both your hands on the controller at all times when you play Nier?
I think that tells us everything we need to know.
Here we are. Having both hands on the controller, doing a lot of gameplay.
Kinda is also just amazing here, running up walls and
Someone's here.
doing things.
Now
jumping
that's a
off the
take I
side.
can get behind. French toast is greater than everything else.
See, but most French toast comes with cinnamon, which I can't eat.
So a lot of the that's not good. So yeah, don't eat French toast. So you're not allowed to not move in this room, which is really important because we want to be moving so we can go fast. So basically that room means nothing to us. Like about half of the rooms in this area. So we cheese most of them, and then some of them we don't cheese. Like the first one. Oh my gosh, cinnamon roll pancakes. Can someone like... I'll give you that, actually, I'll even give you $10 if you go out and get me some breakfast food right now. Like, if you bring it to my house. Like, if you Uber Eats it to me, I'll do it.
We should stop talking about food.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about food. Yeah, really, this is a problem, because I still have to be here for another 2.5 hours. So anyway, like back to the point, we just cheesed that room. The rule is you're not allowed to run, so you have to hold the control stick at a specific angle so you can still roll, but you're not running. In this room, we just fire forward, and that's a room. I forget what you're not allowed to do in that room, but it doesn't matter because that's all you have to do to clear it. Oh yeah, this one's no magic. So we Mario the cube.
Right.
This was another accidental discovery because someone jumped and then rolled too far. And we found out that you can actually kill the blocks by stepping on them. I'm at least glad we have, like, differing opinions here. I'm glad we're discussing this civilly instead of getting in all-out fights, even though I'm banning anyone who disagrees with me, but we'll get to that.
This is why you're not allowed to have nice things.
Yeah, this is why I'm not a mod for any major marathons. Okay, this room sucks, because, like, what I forgot to mention is if you get hit by any of the red balls, you get sent back to the beginning of the room and none of your progress is saved. So we're not allowed to use melee attacks. We're not allowed to get hit. So basically, we just kind of have to hope and pray that none of the balls end up on top of us. Like they're about to, and we're fine. I'm just panicking internally, it's fine, it's whatever. Okay, there we go. Is that not it? I'm missing one. Where am I missing one?
Ooh.
Okay, there it is. There it was. Round edges got me. Remember when I said the platforming was decent in this game? I take it back.
You aren't allowed.
Does this game have nice music?
Yes.
Yes. Closest thing to a Waffle House near you is your kitchen. Rent out your kitchen to Waffle House Incorporated. Is this music playing in game? Yes. The music is actually just that good. So in this room we're not allowed to dodge, but it is a trial by combat. So if you get hit, you just get hit. That's the end of it. Like you're done, buckaroo. Okay, so... Ooh, 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 ooh. So when an item drop is gold, voice please. So when an item drop is gold, I have to go out of my way to pick it up because that means it's a rare item and it's gonna sell for a lot of money. I don't actually have to do that because of safety, but I could still save a bit of time by having enough gold right off the bat. That way I don't have to turn in the quest, I only have to pick it up.
Where are we?
That mewling child is inside.
So this is a pretty interesting boss. We have to hit the pink cubes, but hitting the blue cubes is bad because it fires projectiles back when you do that. And I'm a horrible shot. I'm a very horrible shot. I didn't get a single double there. But each layer of this layer cake of death is ever so slightly different of a puzzle that you have to deal with. So like this one, only one is pink, and it won't alternate, but it moves a little bit faster, I think. This one we're back to doubles, but flashes. So like they're pink now, and then it won't be pink, and then they'll be pink again. Boom. And finally this one, the one pink one does alternate. And I missed it, which is bad because that's slow.
Also, yeah, if you forgot, Nier is actually a bullet hell game.
Yeah. Okay, so both hands on the controller at all times.
The guardian of this temple is a very exciting indeed.
Says the talking book.
Oh, look.
This is a power.
I figured you'd come back.
Don't get all weepy, okay? It's not like I was searching for
Though you were simply lost.
you. Fuck off, book.
100% intended strat all the time, every day.
Cube takes priority.
Screw your priorities! I'm gonna kill this thing my way!
This should prove interesting.
And the final phase is like the first one, except it's kinda flat instead of tall. And you can't really get doubles. There is one, but I probably won't get it because I screwed up the timing.
Yes, also lasers.
I didn't get the double, by the way. If you get a perfect shot on the last two, you'll kill both at the same time.
What are you talking about? Grimoire Weiss is the nerd.
Caught beauty.
Is it wedding time yet?
Not quite.
No.
That happens in 5 years or so. I hope y'all were in for the long haul, by the way, because this is a 5-year-long speedrun. The estimate actually means to say 5 years and 4 hours, but, you know, overflow and all that.
I'm worried about Yona. Let's go back.
Yeah, it's a very happy event. It's very touching
yeah.
when the king finally gets married to his queen,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they live happily ever after, like most traditional JRPGs, which this is a member of.
The king so young.
The people will make up for whatever the
This is
king lacks.
very much a traditional ARPG, nothing more, nothing less.
Probably. The rules seem to work for them, so who are we to say otherwise?
Yo, what's up, MASH? Shoutouts to
Oh,
MASH
dear.
for also
Hey,
being
MASH.
runner
Many
of this
ways
game.
to view the world as there are people in it.
Not quite cool enough to do true ending runs.
Yeah, not as cool as me, but he's still pretty cool.
What do you think, Kaine?
About half as cool, if we're measuring it by hours spent on a speedrun. So keep your eyes peeled, by the way, because the best boss in the game is coming up.
It's not Jack, is it?
It's the Tree of Memories. Part 1.
Part 1.
I did not get that wrong. Guess I got it wrong. Sup, Yona?
Hey, Yona, how you feeling?
So we have a dream. It's about like a guy mouthing words at us and telling us to go somewhere, the Forest of Myth. Now we need to go there. But first we're gonna go ask Popola, because, you know, even though the boy in our dream told us something, we're not gonna trust him immediately.
No,
Because
we need to
we-
go to Popola.
Yeah, we need to waste my
Cause-
time.
Popola knows all. Hey, Mash.
Mash, what do you think about Waffle House?
Don't.
Mash, what do you think about Waffle House? I'm waiting. So it turns out last night the village also got a letter from the Forest of Myth. And said dream a bunch of times.
Ha, get wrecked, Dale.
Can't believe I'm gonna have to ban my boy Mash. Unbelievable.
Alright, so here we go to the Forest of Myth, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, like I was saying, the village got a letter last night saying, dream, like, about 50 to 70 times, and that's a little bit concerning, because usually in a letter, you have actual content instead of just one word over and over again. You know what, let's talk about favorite Final Fantasy, because I could really start up some controversy with that one. We can either
Please,
play
no.
a guessing game, or we could all just go around and say our favorites, but I feel like a guessing game would be more fun. So who wants to take a stab at what my favorite Final Fantasy game is? And while
Are you
we're
not
doing
going to
that,
talk about the mechanics of this boss?
actually I need to talk about this this boss first. Yeah, I need to focus on this boss. It's kind of hard.
Alright, good boss.
Yep, that was a boss. I hope you enjoyed. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about something someone asked about because, like, that's a real thing. And then I will answer the question we posed because, I asked it, so I may as well answer it. I'm pretty sure I saw the, correct answer somewhere. But, what is the connection between Drakengard, Nier, and Nier Automata? We're gonna start from Drakengard ending E. So in Drakengard ending E, there's this big statue-looking thing called the Queen Beast, and in order to kill it, Kaim and his dragon Angelus had to transport themselves and it into a different universe, where they would fight it and kill it. And that was Tokyo 2003. Now this caused a disease. Well, it's kind of a disease. Humanity thought it was a disease, but essentially what happens is when you come in contact with the skin of the Queen Beast, a god speaks to you in your brain and says basically either become a mindless slave to me or turn into a pillar of salt. So that happens. Fast forward to Tokyo 2032, where some stuff happens, and we're going to stop for now because we're going to be seeing it later, and I don't want to talk my brains out now and then have nothing to talk about later. So back to the question before. My favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 13, and the chat goes wild. MASH 2003 is correct. 2013 is the Drakengard 3 timeline. Go look it up. There's Shinjuku 2003 and Shinjuku 2013. I'm reasonably sure I'm correct, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh,
I think you're right.
I feel like it is, because I know I've, like, found the timeline where it's, like, 2003, 2013, a bunch of other jank.
But yeah, whoever said basically flowers earlier, you're right. We're not going to talk about it, but you're right.
Basically flowers. Oh,
Flowers.
you mean the ending of that other Drakengard game?
I mean, flowers are the root of all evil, aren't they?
A flower is one of them. I still don't know if Lunar Tear is part of that flower or not. It's kind of hard to tell. Ayana, what are your thoughts on that?
Are we gonna talk about this now?
Yeah, we are.
I mean, what if the seeds of that flower were spread? Because technically that flower did travel around a lot. And left old bodies behind, so what if those flowers, those dead flowers, left their seeds?
And what would make them appear in this area in the first place?
True.
And that became the Lunar Tear.
Especially fertile ground.
That does make sense. But the queen beast that actually made it to Tokyo wasn't a flower.
That's assuming that the queen beast wasn't,
I guess we can't rule out that it's Zero, but... Well, that it's someone. Maybe not Zero, but maybe another, like, flower, and there's a lot of lore to keep track of. Anyway,
The thing with lore
oh
is...
my gosh. Okay, quick, change the game to Resident Evil. Otherwise we're gonna get banned.
Please.
Also true. The whole thing with lore in Drakengard and Nier is that it's all just speculation because we're pretty sure that not even Yoko Taro knows what's up with this game. He just kind of leaves it to other people to figure out.
We write Yoko Taro's games in all honesty. Like, if we're being realistic here. Also, what's up, Kyo's little monster? We're talking about how Final Fantasy 13 is the best Final Fantasy game, and anyone who disagrees has horrible taste.
Yeah, so we're here at this mansion for some reason, looking for a small child, I believe.
Right now we're looking, yeah, we are, because a small child wrote her daughter a letter, and now they're gonna get married. It's a very cute love story, and definitely nothing else.
And absolutely, nothing sad happened to this child in this monochrome manner.
Shades!
What foul hole did they crawl from?
So, say hello to Emil. Now, if you've played Nier Automata, you're very confused right now, because this Emil looks very different from the other Emil that you know and love.
Think we should look.
I assure you they're the same.
We're getting to that in about half an hour.
True enough.
After the final boss of the game, because we're about to have all 8 sealed verses.
Yes, because all RPGs finish once you get the first quest done.
Yep. I guess it's technically the third, because we had the sheep one, and then the one where we kill the shades by the bridge.
I said quests, not side quests.
But those aren't side quests, they're mandatory. In fact, you could argue that the old lady quest is also another one.
Yeah.
So maybe it's even the 4th quest of the game. Or the 5th, because of the one where you save the soldier guy. Honestly, I'm starting to think this game's just really poorly designed. Too many quests.
What a concept.
Okay,
Why
I
would
think
we
I
ever
no,
play?
I did not just get the text glitch. I thought I did because I opened the door at the same time I got a word, but nope. I can still see the text boxes, which means I'm not about to be very annoyed. Not yet. Not for another half hour. When we have to escort a certain little boy who doesn't have eyes.
Oh, yeah. Eyes? Who needs those?
Oh, great. Why does every book I meet have a bad attitude?
Oh yeah, so this is
Compared to the ones
Grimoire.
Yeah.
Also, Grimoire Vice's girlfriend of like 5 minutes before he got shoved into a book.
Also true. But you wouldn't know that unless you read the required reading.
Yeah, once again, 75% of this game's story takes place outside of the game. Like, to reiterate, the story design here is simultaneously really cool and really bad.
Where have you been?
Getting our asses handed to us by a floating dictionary.
Bold of you to assume that there won't be any more sequels.
I am an arcane text, not a manual of combat.
Alright.
I guess if
And
we really run out of stuff to do, we could just read like the short stories during True Ending. But anyway, this is a different run than True Ending, and I need more stuff to talk about, which is great because I have a lot to talk about now. We just got the last sealed verse. Now you'll notice that we're very far under estimate, so
I saw you exchange some
you know,
words with
we
that
may be seeing a world record because it's time to go
Uh,
fight the final boss of the game. Now that we have all 8 plot
for
MacGuffins.
a young man of his age. Speak the truth, hussy.
Book? Shut up.
Yeah, cram it, Vice. We've got our hands on all the sealed verses.
Yeah, it's any percent.
And now all that remains is to find this grimoire.
We don't hate ourselves that much.
We'll find it.
Yeah, not yet. Not until December.
Oh, wait, we don't have the final plot MacGuffin. We need Grimoire Noir. Ugh. I can
Yeah,
speak
we do.
English.
That's the final boss of the game that we're about to go and fight. Like I just said.
Hey, Yoda.
We're gonna get to watch the intro. Like, can I get a time check? Because if we're where I think we are, then we're fine.
Yona doesn't have the strength to fight this disease.
We must find Grimoire Noir at once. Only this can save her.
$152? Alright, we're 100% fine.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone.
use help.
But anyway, our daughter's in a lot of pain now, so we need to go get her a mushroom. And once we get that mushroom, we can give it to her, and then we'll go back to Popola, and she'll tell us where the final boss is, because she knows everything.
Absolutely. Thank God for Popola. What would we do without her?
If Dale runs 100%, does that mean plat percent? Because I'm going to route that eventually TM.
Really?
Yes. That's been on my list for a really long time, Ayano. Like, probably longer than I've known you.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it
TBH.
is, because you have to mess with the system clock to finish it in under 24 hours. That's not even a joke.
Oh, hey, Emil, what you doing?
But yeah, Emil just kind of showed up. I don't know why that happened. Ooh, maybe the final boss is coming to us. This is really going to be world record, ain't it?
You know, daughter on shrooms. Yes. White chlorination.
Shades are storming the village.
We can talk about that later.
Well,
Essentially, it's-
we did talk about the disease
Yeah.
where the god's like, hey, do this or die.
Yeah, that's...
I would do
they call
anything for
that-
you. Okay, then perish.
They call that white chlorination.
Yeah, because it takes like the... So... Gosh, now I need to remember chemistry. Because you turn into salt, right? So like,
Yeah.
it takes like the Na, which is something, and it turns it into, and it adds Cl, you know, chlorination. The name
Oh,
actually
hi,
makes a
Jared.
lot of sense.
Find an opening for your attack.
I'm trying.
The arms are vulnerable when it attacks.
Okay.
So, obviously, this giant shade is not a book. So,
Yeah, this song, someone brings up a good point. This song is remixed in Nier Automata during the gunfight. The game is called The Dark Colossus Destroys All, I believe. Okay, please get a... no, I guess we can't. I guess we're not getting mine either. Thank you, video game.
Perhaps its interior is more vulnerable.
I'll save it. It'll be more important later.
no. It's a joke.
Okay, if I could please... There we go, we got it. But anyway, I wanted to get a strength salve there, and I died. That's what happened? Okay. Alright.
GG.
Sure. We play by Kingdom Hearts rules, so I'm pretty sure I'm checkpointed right there. So we should be good. Yeah, we are. I didn't even lose any time, just the loading screens. Oh, but he got a bunch of health back. Never mind, I did this time. But that's fine.
It's fine, it's Jack.
Yeah. This is Jack of Hearts. Now, bold of me to assume a marathon run could go even remotely okay.
Keep hitting it. At some point, it's gotta start working.
Alright. So we're in auto-scroller mode now. I just have to get his health down to 1 health, and then it won't go any lower. And from there, I'm free to just do whatever I want. So, once again, you need both hands at all times to play Nier Gestalt, including your third dark hand.
You're gonna die today,
Ooh,
shithog.
now it's not as
Oh, come now, that's not even a real word.
Kaine's yelling obscenities. Weiss is yelling about how her obscenities aren't real words.
Looks like you've learned how to swing that thing.
So glad you noticed. You really know how to put up a fight.
Come on, keep pushing him.
I paid her 0 because she didn't have work and you did. I mean, you brought this upon yourself.
Hold on, Yona. I'm coming.
I don't work on weekends. I only work every weekday. Hey, Emil's just like out here now and it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, Emil is petrifying the shades for us because
When he looks at
at
things.
things, they get petrified. That's why the entire mansion is grayscale. It has nothing to do with art style.
These people now.
True story.
Yeah, he is just Medusa boy.
Shit.
Healing too quickly.
We need a better plan.
Okay, so these two hitboxes behave really weirdly. So hopefully I can hit them in a reasonable amount of time, but probably not.
Perhaps we could chase them to the basement and see them there. Those walls are thick rock. I doubt even this piece could break.
No spin, no spin, okay, no spin.
Great. I love basements.
Do it. Push him to the basement.
They can't beat him, so instead we're just gonna shove him into the basement.
So one thing I didn't mention earlier because it wasn't that relevant because of the way I do hand-to-hand combat in the early game. The higher your combo goes, the faster you swing your weapon. And right now, we don't have magic because Grimoire Noir, who's right over there, took all of our magic.
What a jerk.
So I'm trying to build my combo up as high as possible before we enter the next phase. As you can see, I'm hitting very fast now.
Oh yeah, Kaine has just been petrified, I believe.
Yes. No. Kaine's
No?
still holding the door. We petrify her after we kill the book.
So Kaine's using all of her physical strength and magical heals to hold the door so that the Jack cannot get out. Now we need to beat up a book and get our powers back. Isn't that Mash's own emote?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there is a joke behind that. Mash calls Kaine Kanye because that's how his accent be. Like, it'd be like that sometimes. So someone took Kanye West and put Kaine's hair on her, and now that's the Twitch emote.
The roof is about to collapse! Damn, this library isn't gonna hold for long. We must finish this quickly.
So now Kaine gets petrified, and we leave her like that for a certain amount of time. That should pop up on screen here in a moment. Gosh, I do not. Actually, I will for safety. There we go.
So she's been petrified for 5 years, and only now are we getting around to trying to fix that.
So now I get a strength capsule. Of course. Why wouldn't I get one earlier than that? When am I gonna learn JP %? When you buy me a copy of Replicant. It's on you now, my dude.
The shade and complete. It's been 5 years.
So, anyway. Like she was saying earlier, Ayano was saying, we are now 5 years into the future. Kaine is still petrified, and we've gotten a lot stronger. We've learned how to use spears, and we've learned how to use two-handed swords. So, spears are important. This is a little bit over halfway. Story-wise, we're halfway through, yeah. But anyway, like I was saying, the spear is important for movement because the spear dash is the fastest anything you can do in the entire game. But it has a tiny cooldown, which lasts 1.5 dodge rolls. So basically, for movement, from now on, we're going to be doing a spear dash, then we're going to be doing 1.5 rolls, and then we're going to do a spear dash, and just keep doing that. so side rolling is no longer a thing. Run-wise, we're about, like, we're close to 2/3 through the game, so we're over halfway. So don't worry, we're still on pace to be underestimate. We should be, like, pretty much exactly at 2 hours now, if everything's going right. Usually under, but I know we're not that good. 1.5 dodgeballs, yeah. Exactly that. So we're heading to easily my least favorite part of the game, but after that it's relatively smooth sailing, with one really hard trick I have to pull off in between.
Oh yeah, so we got a letter from Emil saying, "Hey, come on over. I figured out some stuff. Maybe we can save Kaine." So we head on over, talk to Emil, and he's like, "Okay, we need to go into this laboratory
To control all magic. I can use it.
because
It would also
I'm an
allow
experiment or whatever, and actually a weapon."
condition.
So we don't know that yet. Oh my god. We'll figure it out.
But we do know there's a secret facility in the basement of the mansion.
Warning.
We will soon figure out that he's actually a weapon, and that's why he can petrify things.
So we're about to menu into a very kind of important mechanic in the game that just kind of gets ignored for the most part in the run. Those are some really good words. But anyway, you may have noticed over the course of the game there have been some pop-ups that say we've gotten certain words. What that essentially means is, like, each word is a mini stat buff. And some of them later game, not so much early game, but later game, can start to stack up because they can hit like 10, 20, 30% damage buffs, and of course more damage means faster combat, and faster combat means I get to go to bed. In other news, we're in an escort quest now. Diablo-themed escort quest, even. Emil is blind, so he moves around based on your footsteps, so if you get too many objects away from him, so like if there's too many boxes or something in between the two of you, then Emil gets lost and you have to go back to the beginning of the floor. And it can be very annoying because enemies can hit you into that range, and then you'll go back to the beginning of the floor even though you didn't even go outside of Emil's range. The game kind of forced you out there. Hopefully I won't be complaining about that too much, but as it stands right now, I'm really not looking forward to this area because it's horrible. It's cool casually, yeah, Zhao. I enjoyed it casually. The problem is, I'm trying to go fast and Emil is not fast. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm laying down?
No.
I'm saying
'Cause you
Emil is slow.
dropped it on the floor.
I am saying that Emil is a very slow lad.
He gets better.
He does get
What's he-
better, but only after this section.
He has to learn how to float.
Yeah. And he has to learn how to tear off all of his skin and muscles.
Oh my god. It's fine, it's just a side effect.
A very cool side effect, though. Like, imagine being a floating skeleton with magic powers. That's honestly my life goal. Can you just paralyze him, Emil? Thank you. No, you didn't do it. Now you did it.
It's more if he absorbs someone, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, after a 30-second boss fight, it's supposed to be like the big bad mid-boss of the entire game, but, you know, spoiler alert. Emil, that's the wrong way. So you'll notice I'm ignoring all the enemies with shields, and that's because Emil does not try to paralyze people, petrify is the word, people with shields. Once you get rid of the shields, then he'll try to petrify them, so I'm also trying not to hit them. It becomes very overwhelming in a moment here, but it's technically faster, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, that was almost perfect. I'm very pleased with that. I didn't hit a single one. Okay, if I could see Emil, that would be cool too. But I can't. Project Snow White. Oh no. This is supposed to be PG-13, guys. We can't be having that kind of joke in my PG-13 speedrun of Nier Gestalt.
With kinda yelling obscenities.
Yeah, but that's fine. Because I didn't yell them. As you can see, this is very overwhelming. Because every single enemy in this area has knockback properties. Okay, please don't be out of range. He's not out of range. Okay. And we made it through the worst floor.
Woo! Gas. What's this? Something about another child?
7 children, actually.
I swear to God, this cat's knocking on my door.
Let it in.
No.
You can have a third co-commentator. I'm sure your cat knows plenty about Nier. Doesn't your cat run this game?
Maybe. He's probably pissed that I'm not in bed. It's almost like it's a sequel or something.
No, they stole the name too. Honestly, it's kind of really horrible of them. Like, I don't know how they got away with it, but somehow a different company that's not also Square Enix copied the name Nier and ripped off everything from this game. Definitely not the same publisher. It really does kind of rip off of it a lot though. And it kind of makes sense because it's the same series. But the way Nier Automata is almost makes me feel like they want you to forget that Nier Gestalt wasn't that great of a game. Because they did get, like, Platinum to work on it instead of their own people. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm zoning out because I really hate this part of the game. I'll start talking about things again in a moment. I just really don't like this part of the speedrun. But it's over finally, because we have free reign of movement again.
Hey, you okay?
World
What's
record.
this?
World record on old timing, because we haven't retimed it, is shoot, what is it? It's like 3 hours and 14 minutes. Yeah, Cavia wasn't great at gameplay, but they were really great at making a better game than Platinum, because the story is just so much better here that I'm fine with mediocre gameplay. Anyway,
OMG. What's
here's
this?
a 30-second boss fight.
Could this be a sister?
Yeah, this is also Emil's sister.
Hurry, there's still time to save the land. I know there is. Emil,
Yeah, this is the result of the child experiments that they were doing.
So basically what went down is we talked about the mindless zombies as a result of the white coronation syndrome. Where they like turn into the mindless zombies. So there was like a big war between humanity and these things. And they decided they needed a bit more than just
Whenever I interact.
human weapons. So instead of just human weapons, they started developing magic weapons using humans. So they made a superhuman, like the thing we just call like a super ultimate mega weapon. And then they added a seventh one, which is Emil. They could petrify it if something went wrong, which he did. And then 1,312 years later, Emil got eaten by his sister, and then we killed his sister, and he got her powers.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
now
now
he's very powerful, and also a floating skeleton.
yeah, floating skeleton child. Look at him, isn't he cute?
this doesn't.
So, we killed the monster in the basement. There we go, yeah. Mule heads.
Anyway, this is another unskippable cutscene where I have to have both hands on my controller. Yo, thank you for the sub, DaleDukk. Much appreciated, my dude. Glad to see you showed up for the run. Usually I take a bathroom break, but I haven't had as much water as I probably should, so I don't have to use the restroom.
Oh, yeah,
So this is the point of the game. Well, actually, it was a bit earlier. It's, I forgot to mention it at the time because I was making the joke about how it was the end of the game. When Jack of Hearts shows up and starts destroying the village, there's not multiple of them, there's only one. You're not that tired, Dale. That's the first time it'll show you one of the journal entries instead of just the diary entries. And then you're like, whoa, something else is going on here. What the heck is this? Human experimentation. Whoa, 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 what? So, yeah, that's when that's supposed to happen. So now they're supposed to be here. But they were here before, because like I said, I loaded up a New Game Plus save. So we didn't get the full Nier experience, which is just another reason for you to go out and buy this game and not Drakengard 3.
Oh yeah, now we're starting to think, hey, maybe Popola and Devola aren't the greatest things since sliced bread.
So we're heading back to the Lost Shrine now, because we've been told that the Shadow Lord, which is the thing that tried to kill us earlier alongside the book, is hiding out in the Lost Shrine. it's this way. You've been streaming for 8 days now, you should be dead. Yes, Kyugen, you are very correct. Before we go to the Lost Shrine, I'm gonna take a quick detour to Seafront and pick up a safety quest. So it's over here. Seafront is actually a really cool looking town that we don't really explore at all in the run. Like, you get this cool looking courtyard here, well, beautiful looking even. The visuals in this game are really good, by the way. Like, the art style, the variety of locations that you don't really see a whole lot in the run. Once again, go buy this game and not Drakengard 3. Play Nier, please.
Someone.
I didn't even fire shots at you this time. I really just don't like Drakengard 3. It's not a fun game.
And that's exactly why he speedruns it.
Game audio desync. I think it is a little bit desync because of my capture card, but hopefully it's not been too bad. Honestly though, Mash, fire back. Channel your inner fairy from the Forest of Fairies and fire back with something that's gonna absolutely devastate me. So far this has been a relatively glitchless run with a bit of like bad programming exploitation. We're about to see one and the only real glitch that we use in this category. In True Ending we do have one more.
Keep your guard up.
But before we do that I have to turn these guys off because it's important that they don't attack enemies for the rest of the run. But right now, it is serious Dale time.
Get over here. Hit me. Hit me.
Yes.
That was under my breath, that's fine. But yeah, we were close. The first part's not the hard part. Are you kidding me? I have to show this off. Are you kidding me? No, I'm determined now. I'm very determined. Like, you're not gonna beat me, Nier. I'm gonna show this off. Okay, what the heck is going on?
You did
It's
it
not
like
this hard.
you did it so many times earlier.
Okay, one more and then we'll do it again later. We'll get it first try later. Okay, no, never mind. The game doesn't want it. We don't get to show off the trick. It really doesn't want it. Well, actually it won't be as bad now because we won't have the whole crowd for a couple of tries. We're already so... there's no chance of any kind of good time, so whatever. Let's... This is always a mood killer. This trick is always a mood killer. I don't think I've ever had this go well in an attempt. Okay, good job, me. I thought I was on a healing item. okay. That was it, but whatever. Block puzzles it is.
Block
Block
puzzles
it is. I've never had it go that poorly ever since I learned it. I was having a good time too. I'm kind of mad. I get one more shot to to show it off, but it's probably not going to go well. I'm very demoralized.
This is all too easy.
I get to do it the mash way. This is the mash route. I could go over there and try the second half, but that's the part I'm screwing up. See, now I'm like
Exactly.
not in a bad mood to have like proper commentary. This is a whole mess, and it's all the game's fault for making that trick way too hard.
See, but that's not it's never happened before, because it happens a lot.
Failing it happens. Failing it that bad doesn't happen. That was like 8 attempts. You know what? We're just gonna act like that trick doesn't exist. So, all these block puzzles are pretty optimized because everyone has to do it in every single run. So it's all good.
Schrodinger's block puzzle skip.
It's been forever since I've done these. I actually forgot them. But yeah, we do get another shot at it once I've had like an hour to clear my mind. And then I'm gonna piss myself off again right at the very end of the run. It's gonna be great. But yeah. Trying to think of what to talk about, but these are actually just block puzzles. Like, there's nothing interesting going on.
I'm trying to not fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly, because these block puzzles are horrible. They shouldn't have been in the game in the first place.
Yes, these block puzzles were designed by MASH.
Yeah, these are Mash's block puzzles.
They are MASH's block puzzles.
There is actually like a block puzzle skip within that block puzzle skip. Oh yeah, this was one of the dark execution ones.
Legend of Nier Drakengard's Mask. MASH has a very good point. They couldn't quite decide what type of game that they wanted to make, so they made them all.
Oh, I'm gonna get to show off the fun jump though, because that one's actually really easy.
Kaine, Emil, I want you to... Look, I'm sorry,
Sorry for what?
I'm going to
Now I'm
talk
gonna
to the
screw it
village.
up like 4
I want them to
times,
let you
even
in.
though it's actually like the easiest trick in the first try.
Right, Kaine? I'm used to it.
Alright.
Well, you shouldn't be. It's crap. It needs to change.
I wish everyone felt the same way. It's alright, really. I like everyone. It was fun in a weird way. Sometimes we sit around the fire and
We seem to be surrounded
Yes,
by
this is in
all
fact
these
related
bodies.
to the other Nier.
But yeah, sorry about the
What's going on?
my mood being
There's
killed by
dozens of
that.
them.
Stuff happens. I also lost a magic drop,
These are
but it's
creatures
fine.
of the darkness.
We're having a good time. This is
Yeah,
Better to the end, I see.
this is
falling.
Gretel. I think this is Gretel. Gretel stayed alive.
Hello. Cherry, you're very right because I nearly just fell out of my chair.
Creatures you cannot hope to best.
It's about 7,000 years.
Okay, so let's see if I can get the quick kill here. I'm not gonna be as disappointed if I don't get this one, because this one's like even harder than the trick. But something. And I'm losing my train of thought all over the place now. I want to talk about something. I need to like recompose myself. It'll
All
keep
my
you awake
stuff is
too.
just spoilers for other games.
Look at Kaine's shape.
Because I know more
got
about
it.
Trekking Guard 3 than I do about
Ayana, we
anything
got
else.
it.
We got it?
We got
Yay.
it. We got the frame perfect quick kill. But I didn't get the jump. What the heck? Alright, sure. Anyway, that was a boss fight. There's supposed to be a
Was a
bunch of
boss fight.
stuff where like Shade kinda jumps around the room and fires stuff at you, and it's all cool and hard and difficult, and I just killed it in 15 seconds, so there you go. I did get to show something cool off. Anyway, here's our new MacGuffin. There's a new key, there's 5 different fragments for said key, and we gotta go get all of them by watching a bunch of sad stuff go down.
Right.
So here's where the game really starts to
Nier Automata, gameplay-wise, definitely. Story-wise, I'm kind of torn. I really like the story of this game versus Automata.
But yeah, this is okay. Okay, my body wanted to cause some severe pain for about 5 seconds, so I couldn't finish my train of thought. So what I was gonna say, I think, is that this is where the game really starts to become like a tragedy instead of just like a comedy with a bit of dark stuff in it. And I think that's pretty neat.
Oh yeah, you see. Like, are we heading to Kaine's old village right now?
Oh, we're heading to the junk heap. The area is the last one we go to. Yeah, this game has the boar. So it's kind of hard to really say Automata is even close to better. Like boar drifting. What other game has that? None of them. This is just the best game ever.
Speak to the brothers.
Excuse you, I think that actually Trekking Guard 3 is my favorite story-wise.
So anyway, the older brother here is dead now. So Gideon has taken over the shop. And Gideon's a little bit insane because robots killed his older brother.
Drakengard does have a flying dragon,
But does Drakengard have drifting dragons? I don't think so.
Shame about the old.
but let's also mention that Drakengard 3, the dragon controls awful.
And it doesn't drift. That's more important.
It also causes the frame rate to plummet. Like, that's just how the game plays. And then soul-sucking depression.
The elder brother postponed his joy for the sake of
Wait, when did robots come into this? Surprising about that. Actually, robots have always been in this.
Hey. But we don't know that yet.
No, we don't. Something human experimentation.
More like preservation, actually.
Preservation.
You know, we'll talk about that when the drop happens, when the big reveal shows its ugly face.
When betrayal number 1. When did the humans die? Funny
Like
thing
the
about that.
2050s. Kinda, but also not at all. But don't worry about it.
It's just kind of like apocalypse after apocalypse when you think about the Nier Dragon Guard universe. The world is constantly ending, and all life is ending along with it. Just all the time. Emil is, the mixture of human experimentation and, more human experimentation fusing with it.
I am really off my game now. Thanks, horrible jump. So we just lost, like, an item drop. That'll be fine.
Try Thrice has it right. Emil is a good boy.
Okay, titanium alloy, that's very good. Okay, good job, me. All I can say is I'm glad the estimate's pretty large. Because I keep falling into these holes.
Night,
Oh my
Omni.
god. If I had fallen in that one, there would have been hell to pay. To my voice, mostly, because I would have been shouting. Alright. Good night, Omni. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for having fun in chat. Hopefully, you enjoyed a bit of it, and not the part where I was bothered. I'm not gonna get over that now. I'm just, like, thinking about it.
Stop it. Stop thinking about bad things. Think instead about Song of the Ancients.
Shit, I mean, you're right, but that's also like a really sad song with what's about to happen. This game puts everyone in a depressing mood, to be honest.
It's a depressing game.
Yes. What do I talk about? Like, I feel like the real problem is that I'm running out of things to talk about. Because we're not
like
at the
we could-
reveal yet.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sure that a bunch of them know what the reveal is, but we can't just blurt it out while you're beating up robots.
Right.
Or, like, Pascal's ancestors.
So fun fact about one of these robots, and I guess I'll talk about that later, but one of these robots makes an appearance in Nier Automata in a place you really wouldn't expect one to. I think you might know what I'm talking about, Ayana?
If I do, I'm too brain dead at this moment to actually remember.
Understandable.
MASH, did you just...
Yeah, MASH
Okay.
is very self-promoting right now.
nanosheens? Exactly. Another reason why this game is so sad is because, sisters dying, and children dying, and everyone dying, pretty much.
Well, there is a lack of communication because one of the parties can't exactly speak English anymore. Or any language, for that matter. But again, we'll get to that. For now, I have to focus on other stuff, so I stopped thinking about the Lost Shrine jump.
It's because the writer was
Hey,
drunk.
that's pretty accurate.
Metal Gear also dies, actually.
Where do these robots appear in Nier Automata, though? Well, stick around, because we're going to be back to this area, and then we'll meet the actual robot. And when we meet the actual robot, I'll explain where that exact robot shows up in Nier Automata.
It's just a lot of waiting. He's
Yeah,
he's
there's
making you have to watch the stream.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up the average viewer time. I don't know what Twitch calls it. I'm trying to improve RPG limit breaks analytics is what I'm doing. But realistically, I'm just waiting till we've been introduced to the important character so I can talk about the important character. Oh, we could go back to talking about fast food. Ayana, go pick me
I'm
up
gonna
some
get
Waffle
so
House.
hungry so quick.
Ayana, go pick me up some Waffle House right now.
I'm
I
not
want Waffle
driving
House.
like 6 hours to bring you Waffle House.
Yes, you are, because I'm hungry. Oh, I did this one. I'm supposed to do suicide skip, but we're already on the floor now. Okay.
I mean, aliens aren't even really a factor in humanity's demise when you really think about it.
Oh yeah, the aliens that happened like 2,000 years after this game. Hey.
Yeah, no, can I say it? Is
You
that
can.
really a spoiler?
No, it doesn't happen in either of the games.
Well, the humans are already dead, essentially.
God damn it, that was a spoiler. That's not what I thought you were saying. I thought you were gonna talk about the aliens. I mean, we're like less than an hour away from the big reveal at this point, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, it's 2,000 years in the future. Like, really, can humanity survive that long?
So suicide skip, I did mention it, so I should talk about it. Basically, if you jump in the water, it will spawn you at a checkpoint right next to one of the fast travel locations. So instead of walking to the village, you can teleport to the village.
Crushing dreams of children's. Dale's playing. He's not wrong.
It is heavily implied that our universe exists alongside all these other universes. So this is like
Well,
a
yeah.
different one.
You fight the Queen Beast in whatever it's called.
Because another thing, I think, and I could be wrong about this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the first singularity was actually Jesus dying. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that
Because
sounds
in
right.
like in Rekka's timeline, Rekka Alexiel, which is
You know that.
like the Nier lore person, or Drakengard lore person even, in her timeline, the first thing mentioned is 0 AD, Jesus dying. So evidently it's pretty important, because that happens in every universe. So every single universe is like Earth with our history. Each one just like does stuff differently. If that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah,
way to
they
go.
do mention, so things split into timelines and universes depending on which singularity occurs. It's all very confusing.
Yeah, so don't bother worrying about it. So that safety quest I picked up, we're not gonna need to turn it in because I have way too much gold for my own good.
There's actually, the point of one of the games in the series is actually, like, determining which singularity timeline is the best to create the best chance of survival.
Alright. So now we're set for the rest of the game.
You know, Nier Drakengard, real uplifting series, no sadness whatsoever.
Abortion Shark asks, is there an alternate history where I'm cool? That would be this one, my guy. See, the thing about Nier lore is that, like, you play one game and you're like, hey, I kinda get it. Then you play another one and you're like, no, wow, I don't get it at all. And then you read up and you're like, oh, jeez. And then you play a Drakengard game and you're like, okay, never mind, I can see it. So it kind of comes in waves. I'm not expecting anyone to understand a word we're saying at this point.
No, that's just supposed to intrigue you so you play more. You read all of Yoko Taro's amazing works,
Yeah.
and you watch the one showing of the stage play.
Well, I say play a Drakengard game. What I really mean is watch a Drakengard game and ignore Drakengard 2. That's the best way
Yeah.
to do it.
So the reason why we keep saying that Drakengard 2 doesn't exist is because it was the only game not written by Yoko Taro, so
Yeah,
we
exactly.
don't think of it as canon.
And it's also written very poorly. Like, to be sure, it's not a good game, even if Yoko Taro had developed it.
And yes, rhythm games are great final fights. What are you talking about?
How nice! A wedding!
So here's the wedding we talked about like an hour and a half
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
Happy? It's great! I'm kinda jealous. Aren't you kinda jealous, Kaine? Oh, come on.
Emil would like a wedding of his own. Kaine couldn't care less.
That wolf is a shade.
Oh no!
Yeah, the Shade Wolf from earlier showed up and murdered the bride, who was also Fira, the girl that helped us learn the language earlier by speaking in sign language. So now Fira's dead, and we're gonna go kill a wolf. There's the blood stain. That's there for the entire rest of the game to remind you of how tragic the wedding was.
Oh wait, we didn't even make the red wedding joke.
Oh yeah, Game of Thrones. That exists.
Gosh darn it!
Yeah, speedrunning this game is like a 4-hour dose of tragedy, just like in one tiny shot.
In one tiny
Yeah.
shot, he
It's
says.
like, yeah, because it all comes really fast, but it's a very powerful one. So it's like taking
Oh,
a
yeah.
shot of Everclear, except instead of making you drunk, it makes you really sad. Right, so we need to try to push this guy back into the corner here, but he doesn't ever like to cooperate because this game is not well made. And by not well made, I mean it doesn't want to exploit it, which is actually perfectly reasonable. So now we have to kill a bunch of wolves.
I believe that drinking game is called being an alcoholic.
Oh,
And
he got him. There was a drinking game earlier, during Half Minute Hero. Every time the runner said frame perfect, you have to take a shot. Yeah, drink every time I do a dodge roll. You'll definitely survive that. Like, I think that's probably about 5-4 locos, so if you really want to speed it up or make it easier on yourself, then have fun. I'm basically, I would say that. That would be a bad idea. Getting a little bit tired, starting to lose my filter. Bit by bit. But anyway, now we're fighting the big bad wolf. The one that ate grandmother. And it's a dead wolf.
He killed the doggo. What a terrible person.
So, a little bit of foreshadowing. Every single wolf in the world is extinct now. That was the last of them.
Oh, Peter. Yes, this is why there's so many boars and deers.
How many species are wiped out in this game? 3. 3 species. It's up to your imagination right now, except you know one of them is wolves.
One that doesn't go extinct is this obviously really awesome drifting boar.
Yeah. Because they survive until at least Automata, thankfully. But they don't drift in that game. They,
Yeah.
I guess natural selection decided that drifting wasn't good for boars.
I mean, they do bonk their heads on walls a lot. All that brain damage can't be good. Sheep.
Oh yeah,
got
sheep did get
exterminated.
exterminated too, didn't they? So that's 4 species. But yeah, Lord of the Castle is correct. The story is that the dog's owner decided he wanted his dog to become a Gestalt instead. Because,
You don't know what those words mean.
yeah, but I'm gonna say them out of context, and then it'll all make sense later when I finally connect all the dots. You know, you just gotta plant it in their brains. So anyway, he wanted to be part of the Gestalt project, but then he decided to put his dog into the Gestalt project instead, and then he became the leader of the wolves and tried to kill humans because the humans were killing the wolves. Drifting boars moved to Tokyo. Can't wait for the Nier spin-off where it's like Mario Kart but with boars, and you have different boars with different paint jobs and stats, and you get to play as Replicant Nier, Gestalt Nier, Kaine, Emil, Skeleton Emil. But yeah, we're gonna get our own Nier kart racer.
DLC characters. All the sisters from Breaking Bad 3.
So we're done with money for the rest of the game. Money is no longer important. I'm just gonna pick things up for fun while I wait for robots to spawn.
Mash, what are you talking about? The obvious good guy.
A cart made up entirely of Emil heads.
I mean...
Yeah, this game is about a very good, wholesome father, and that's it.
yeah, no.
No plot twists or anything.
Never any plot twist. It's a Yoko Taro game.
So you may have noticed that I've not talked about level ups once since the prologue, and that's because they're not important, because we're on easy. They give you like stat buffs, kinda. They make you stronger, they give you more health and magic, but like, we have pretty much everything we need at any point throughout the game. So I don't really worry about grinding for enemies a whole lot, or for experience.
Bash, they don't know about all the slaughter except for the wolves.
Yeah, they haven't seen it yet. Yo, how did you end up over here? That's another that's never happened before, but at least this one didn't cause me to lose time.
No plot, just twist.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you've summed up Drakengard right there. I mean, when you have characters that turn into birds all of a sudden at the end of the story, then, I mean...
Yeah, no, that really did
like,
just come out of left
that's not
field.
even plot. That actually is just a twist.
It's like, they didn't have to. There was really no reason why
Yeah,
it
that didn't
needed to be
need
that
to
way.
happen. It really didn't need to happen. I guess they wanted to explain how Octa was so old, but also 21. Like, they had that loose end to tie up.
I always love you, Mash. Birds in Drakengard 3, suddenly birds is a plot twist.
Yeah, like
That
some of the
doesn't
characters
need to be
just
a plot
turn into
twist.
birds for no reason at the very end of one of the branches. And we can tell you about that because it's not really a spoiler, it's just something dumb that happens.
What are you talking about? It was just has a full boyfriend.
Oh, you're right. If I could like stop getting shocked and maybe get an attack off, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, secretly Drakengard 3 is just like an ultra-violent, realistic version of How's a Full Boyfriend.
I guess you're not wrong. There's a lot of dating birds in that game. Well, not even dating, just friends with benefits, but it'd be like that. Drakengard 3 is a game about birds that have sex.
Kill the shade and anyone who gets in my way.
What is the iconic line?
So which
I
game
kill my
digs into the
sisters, I
singularities?
take their men.
Drakengard 3 also digs into the singularities. Because basically what happened is he wrote all the way up to Nier, and he's like, yeah, these are connected. And that it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, because a bunch of different stuff was canon that couldn't possibly connect with each other. So he writes this game where, one, birds have sex with each other on the regular, and two,
Except, hold
a
on,
game
no, it's...
where he basically retcons everything he said so far. Or not even retcons, just kind of like shoddily patches it together by saying, yeah, there's a bunch of different universes. And that's what we have right now.
This thing can transform?
Oh, right. Sadness incoming, I guess.
Okay.
But only if you know what's going on.
So people were wondering if, yeah, this is the guy that appears in Automata. So let's talk about that during the auto spoiler. This is P33, otherwise known as BB. So we kill him, kinda, but he doesn't actually die. So a little bit after the end of the events in the game, he wakes up and decides, hey, I'm gonna go tell all the other living beings about my findings, about how humanity isn't bad, and how emotions are good. So he bursts out of the top of this facility, which is apparently a volcano, and says to the machines a bunch of philosophical stuff. And you see this in Automata in one of the picture books that 9S gets, where it says that a great machine burst out of a volcano and blah blah blah. That is this character that we just killed right here. That's that robot. So I don't know if anyone actually knows which picture book I'm talking about, but if you have the game, go back and look at it, because it's a pretty cool tie-in, if I do say so myself. Yeah, he's the Robot King, I think is what they call them. I don't really remember what they call him. Ayano, do you remember?
Wait, was he the Forest King?
No.
No.
He's
that's
like
not right.
in the picture book.
Yeah, I don't remember what they call him in the picture book.
But yeah, that's another short story where you see him like wake up and start to like try to escape, and he pulls a bunch of other robots onto him magnetically, and they like burst through the ceiling. And then it's heavily implied that that robot then is the one in that picture book, because it's the only one that makes sense. Like, I guess it's not 100% confirmed, but like it's probably what that's supposed to be. He might have also become Soshi, or maybe... I mean, that would make sense too. Honestly, I don't know. Now you're making me think. You're making me do the big think, which is bad because it's serious stale time again. I have to focus on this boss fight over here.
Oh, yeah, this boss fight.
Okay, I need to remember where to look. Green. 33. Better be 33. Yep. Alright, that's a boss fight.
Congratulations, you have defeated words.
I think it is Fire of Prometheus, yes. So anyway, what just happened is that there were 2 different words I had to look for in that, and they're randomly generated every single time. So the answers, like the riddles before, were fixed. These are not fixed. So I had to kind of look and hope I saw them right real quickly. What's my estimate at this point? Like 45 minutes, I would say. 45 minutes to an hour. We have one more area, and then we're on to the final boss.
Oh, Shadow Lord.
Well, the final dungeon, and then the final boss. I made that sound. Please get off the... Okay, what the heck? I could not dismount there. It would not let me. That was really weird. But yeah, we need to talk about Drakengard 1. If anyone has any knowledge on the other 4 endings, I know there's one where he has sex with a dragon. I know there's one where there's incest. I know there's one where the guy who's in love with the princess takes her into one of the eggs, and she turns into like an angel thing that kills everyone. And then there's the Queen Beast. There's 2 Queen Beast ones, and one of them is the Tokyo one. But I can't really talk about them in detail because, to be honest with you, I don't know them that well. That's a game I still need to go and play for myself. Yeah, it did all sound like nonsense. That is what these games are all about. Sounding like nonsense.
They make sense if you don't think about them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they make even more sense when you do, but you have to know what you're thinking about. Yeah, no, they make exponentially more sense when you're drunk.
Accurate.
When did the androids go crazy?
7,000 years from now.
I mean,
That's all Nier Automata.
From that village opening a merchant.
but
naturally open their minds.
Think about the precursor.
You think so? I have my doubts.
Like, are they crazy? Are they just failing?
Well, they weren't supposed to, but one of the Yorha androids went insane and killed the head of Yorha, and then
Well,
started
I'm
doing
talking about before
experimentation.
Yorha was even a thing.
I mean, I guess there was like the Devil and Popola incident where they like programmed guilt into all of them because they're a bunch of dumbasses, but it'd be like that. Okay, will he get the jump? No.
Yeah,
He got it.
Mash gets it. Like, androids started going crazy when they started failing in what they were supposed to be doing.
I'm a damn fool. I'm supposed to talk to the village chief first. Forgetting everything. But anyway, the area opened up a shop. They're finally opening their doors to other people. They're finally becoming a real area. A real area. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
But basically they've been shut-ins, and suddenly they send a letter to the village saying, hey, we opened up a shop. And now we gotta check that out, 'cause that's not normal. Wow, we got it twice in a row.
Alright. So, oh my god, there's people in the area. And then suddenly...
Oh, crap.
Yeah, so it turns out all the people that opened the shops were actually possessed by shades.
I thought as much.
So we're gonna kill this guard here, because it's faster than killing another shade.
Thousand apologies. We were distracted by the local welcoming party.
Mind if I join you?
Kinda.
Cool, no.
Villagers are possessed.
Don't knock the shade off.
Some are still human, so
I see people talking about how Nier is underappreciated, so now I have to talk about another common misconception. I can quickly answer one question though. The technically canon one is Little Boy Nier.
What madness. These people are behaving as if we are the villains.
Kinda. Look out! Kill them! Kill them now! No! You gotta stop this! I'm trying to save you from the shades! Please! Please stop!
Emil!
we need to get out of here. Kinda, get up! Hurry!
Stop this at once!
Leave us in peace!
So Dark Execution just like kinda isn't working for some reason, so I'm gonna switch back to Dark Glance. Because we're pretty much done anyway. But that's fine.
Put down that weapon. Please, I beg of you. I can't stand it anymore.
Where? Are we still not done? Okay, I guess we're still not done.
Get them!
But anyway, like I was gonna say before I started focusing on a fight, common misconception. The original Nier only undersold in the West. It sold very well in Japan. I don't know, I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head, but it sold very well in Japan.
My husband. He's a shame.
So, that's why they made another one. It wasn't like a miracle that we got Nier Automata, it actually does make sense financially, at least in Japan. There's really nothing else to talk about. Actually, there is more to talk about here. Ayana, how much do you know about the area?
The area?
Yeah.
If it's not related to Kaine, I don't remember.
Okay. So, the Gestalt project happens, and it enters its final stage. There's one village in the entire world where the final stage worked properly, and that is the area.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
And that's what we're seeing right now. We're actually causing it to fail by being a complete and utter buffoon. We need to save our daughter. It's like a selfish idiot. I'm very heavily hinting at it now. I feel like most people have probably figured out what I'm getting at least kinda. Maybe not completely, but enough. It should at least be very obvious that, a little bit of a secret here. We're the bad guy!
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. This is the second phase. I forgot how this boss fight works. Cool. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, well, that's probably not gonna get any better, David.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry to say that if you're confused at this point and nothing's made sense, then probably won't.
At that point, what you need to do is you need to find,
There's
you
a
can either
there's a bunch of great lore YouTubers that I would recommend.
yeah.
Attack it from above.
Valkyrie Aurora is a good one. Mr. Clemps is another good one.
You should be able to attack. From
But
behind.
also, I would definitely recommend playing through the game for yourself at a casual pace, because sure, the gameplay isn't always amazing.
Not that that'll help you a whole lot, but it'll help you
No.
a bit. Because we do
But at
skip
least-
most of the plot.
Yeah, at least you'll get to, like, explore things and read up on things that they give you, but then definitely, yeah, look at the lore. Well, because, Mash, we're trying to not spoil things, which is really hard.
Yeah, because we still want people to play this game. We just want them to get a basic idea of what it entails, instead of getting every single little minute detail of what's contained in the game.
Because we could go, yeah.
Instead, we're just trying to explain things outside of the game to tie into it, so you're intrigued, and then you go out and buy the game and play it for yourself, like you should. And not play Drakengard 3, because that's a bad game.
But actually, even if you don't play it, watch Drakengard 3 anyway, just because it's a real good story.
Okay, time check, please.
Yeah, it is really hard.
Lord of the Castle is very correct. That's a very good way to do it. Except I would argue watch 3 instead of play it. But yeah, time check, please. I need to know what time we're at. 3:14. Okay, we're gonna be coming in like right at estimate.
Woo!
We should should return to Popola and see if she has any final
I was
words.
actually gonna submit Drakengard 3 to this marathon, but then it didn't work out because I didn't have enough time to derust and make a submission video. Will I stream it? Someday I will get back into Drakengard 3.
You better.
Because I have to do the
marvel
true
at how
ending
relatively
speedrun.
simple a task this retrieval process proved to be.
Alright, now I'm reminded of that
Almost as
thing
if
that really got on my
someone
nerves
deliberately
earlier.
set us on this path.
I'm gonna say 3 attempts and then I just go the casual way. Because this time you don't have block puzzles, you only have walking.
I don't care.
That way I don't get too tilted.
Yona's waiting for me.
What's up, Etsuna? How are you doing?
Thanks.
It's what? Oh.
A very gory Seinfeld with dragons. That's pretty accurate. Shots for every missed jump. That's almost worse than every time I roll. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I'm not gonna front, you'd probably still die.
Yeah, that was Devola and Popola.
But it's a different Devil and Popola. But that's Nier Automata spoilers.
Ooh.
There is not a Yoko Taro game that does not break the fourth wall. That is true. That is actually very true. Because half of them do the save file thing, and the other half are Drakengard. Which is pretty self-explanatory.
They just straight up smash it.
They even break the fifth and sixth. That's probably true, but I don't actually know what those walls are to really say for sure. Nice. Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Woo!
Oh god, it's gonna happen again.
Get smacked.
Okay, we made it.
Again, this is a bullet hell game.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing Toho now. Just get used to it. Alright. The nerves. The nerves.
No nerves, just casual. Because listen, you're just gonna jump across this gap. Guess.
I really do hope I can show this off. Not that it's like particularly cool, but it's like, it's part of the run. Ugh. Okay, try number 2. Actually gonna draw these guys out a little, that way we don't get overwhelmed. Okay, cool. We didn't get enough height somehow.
A giant zero perlin.
Okay, I'm just gonna say screw it, it's not my day. Sorry guys.
It's okay.
Yeah, the rooms are empty, but it's still faster to get that if you get it first try. Or second try, but third try it's not. I don't know why it doesn't want to cooperate now when I was practicing it earlier and doing like fine, but If I
marathons.
dwell on it, I'm just gonna be tilted for the rest of the run, so I'm not gonna dwell on it. And instead, we're gonna talk about Shadow Lord's Castle, which is coming up.
What are we allowed to talk about in Shadow Lord's Castle right now?
Well, the actual area. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat area. What type of building are we gonna be in, Ayana?
Is it by chance a castle?
No, actually. I mean in terms of, like, Earth, not in terms of, like, what they think it is.
You think that I have the brain power to process where it actually is right now? It's 3 in the morning, Dale.
You know what? Novice forever. I think they're right. I think if I had had Waffle House before this run, I would have been able to do the jump.
It's like at estimate paid.
Yeah, we might be like 5 minutes below. Enough to show off, like, the monologue. If the organizers are okay with that anyway. That's up to them. Because it's very vulgar.
Don't laugh at me. I did a lot today.
Such an ominous sight. And yet I find it
Nah, if anything, the thing that probably took it out of me the most was taking my dog to the vet. That was a ride. Oh, the birds. So these are birds that talk. We answer some questions.
Well then, seems the way is open.
And then they tell us that we can go through a door.
Yo, what's up, Devil and Popola?
Devila? What's happening?
Oh yeah,
This is our fate.
what's this?
We did not want it. I never thought you'd grow to be this powerful.
This is madness. Why do you block our path?
You have no cause to speak
So-
from your advice. You are a traitor.
Can I talk about what their purpose is?
Sure, that'll be a good, like, 5-minute discussion. That's long enough to get to Goose.
So essentially, Devola and Popola were created essentially to oversee the not experiments, but human salvation essentially.
Power came from us in the first place.
So
They simply roamed
how much do you want me to reveal here about the?
The apocalypse was happening. There was a project that could save humanity, and they were to oversee it while humanity was essentially in hibernation.
Yeah,
what
and
we're
so
gonna
they
see right
set up a bunch of different villages essentially
Yeah, so the
to
humans are
oversee
like
this.
the humans are like asleep, and Devil and Popola are making sure nothing bad happens while the humans are asleep.
And like we mentioned earlier, only one of the villages actually succeeded, and then we kind of ruined it.
We just killed a lot of humans, but we'll get to that.
But there's actually multiple Devolas and Popolas.
So this dungeon is a big auto-scroller, so I can pretty confidently say that we're 15 minutes away from the end.
I think we're locked in.
It's not like I was planning to leave.
Yeah, it's a bit late for that.
Yeah, we dance. We having a ball.
Why is it suddenly wrong now? Because they didn't know it?
Well, you see the thing about that, like I don't agree with his philosophy on that. I get what he's getting at, but in most cases you're killing humans who have, you know, actual, like, bad intentions. And it's like, okay, so my code of ethics may say that you still don't deserve to die, but it's at least, like, halfway reasonable. However, in this case, they're actually just trying to live their lives, and you kill them anyway because you're an asshole. So that's what makes it wrong here.
Yeah, your daughter's more important than anything else.
The irony is that you cause your own race to go extinct as well, right after finding out that you are a different race, so, I mean, good job, idiot. But, that's all stuff we can talk about later.
How much later? We have 15 minutes before the end.
I don't know,
Are we just
5
gonna
minutes, 10 minutes?
exposition?
Yeah, we are, because the game's
The
gonna
entire
exposition
boss fight.
us, so we're gonna exposition the viewers who are watching the game exposition us.
Knock it off, Vice.
But what I can talk about is something we're about to see here in a moment. So every time we've seen a shade thus far, it's been like small, humanoid, you know, normal sized, human sized, reasonably sized, except for the large ones like Hook and Jack of Hearts. And
Do I look like a goddamn locksmith to
in a
you?
moment here, after more auto-scroller,
What are you doing?
Lock doesn't want to open? Fine.
we're gonna
I'll
see
just
a
break
big
it down.
boar aimed goose.
Crying or laughing?
Things are freaking me out.
We need to help Kaine.
So every time we see a big shade like this, what we're actually seeing is a number of shades that kind of like combine together as one to become more powerful. And they usually turn into purely anger-driven beasts with no kind of sentient thought. They just kind of are really angry. Understandably, but still, they're very angry.
I will say, there is legitimate reason why shades are aggressive in fight.
Yes. The very first shades you see in the game actually do not fight whatsoever. I don't know if you realize that, but they will never attack no matter how long you wait. Like they're actually just kids playing, and then you murder them. But yeah, they had this boar model. They had this really cool boar 3D model they made, so they thought, hey, why not modify it and use it some more, because we made it, so we want to use it.
Stay focused, Kaine.
Don't fall victim to such distractions.
Come on! We have to keep going! Move it!
This way! Move!
Up here! Please hurry!
I mean, unfortunately, not super long because essentially,
Yeah, so Kaine, like,
You're-
died and made a pact with a Gestalt. At least kind of. It's the same exact concept. Her and a Gestalt are sharing life force right now. So throughout the entire game, she's been hearing the voice of a different person. Wait a minute, what the heck? I thought it was...
Damn it, I can't get it
Okay,
open.
that was weird. But yeah, we are in full-on auto-scroller for a little while.
Entrance is locked too.
Pretty much until the final boss rush. I feel like I was gonna say something else.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, so the smaller shades are kids. That's like a fact. The larger shades are really angry collections of shades. And then I feel like there was one more thing I was willing to reveal before I actually explain what Gestalts and replicants are. But I guess I'm wrong.
Look, Dale, you have a friend with door puns.
This boss is a bore. But anyway, the King of Facade followed us in here, and now he's helping us out, so shoutouts to him. So it's almost time for the big reveal. I hope y'all are ready, because we've been building up to it for the entire run. You know, it's not like it's important or anything. We've been beating around the bush about what's actually going on in this game. The mask people are speaking like what's supposed to be a version of Japanese that would have been like, if Japanese lasted another 1,312 years, that's what it's supposed to be. But anyway,
Oh, we've been.
here's the big reveal. So the shades are humans and we are robots. So this entire game, Devil and Popel have been trying to get the souls of the humans back into our fake robot bodies.
The black scroll is what happens when a shade dies. Essentially, the human's replicant begins to disintegrate, essentially. And isn't when shades go insane is when their replicant either when their replicant dies.
When a soul becomes gestaltized, it starts to lose its self-awareness. It's called, I think it's called relapsing. And it starts to basically go insane. So when your replicant, which pulls from the Gestalt's data somehow, I guess like Bluetooth or something, like fancy magic Bluetooth, it'll like get the black scroll and die. Now back in 2032, Nier was tricked into touching the book, which would turn him into a Gestalt. However, he didn't relapse, which is important because that means they can collect something from him that will stop all the other ones from relapsing. But guess who does start to relapse? Yona. So they freeze Yona, causing Yona to constantly have the black scroll no matter what happens, but she'll never die. So she's basically in constant pain until she gets her soul back, which is why the Shadow Lord, who is Nier's Gestalt, is so hell-bent on getting Yona's soul back into her body. And that's where we are right now.
Woohoo! So there's two daddies trying to save their
Yeah.
daughters.
And the final boss is suicide by proxy, because you're killing your own soul. Okay, what did I miss? Never mind, I guess I didn't miss anything. Okay, so strength drop, magic drop.
Strike hard. Hold nothing back.
Okay, good. And Shadow Lord.
Careful!
Time is coming up after this boss, so like 5 minutes. Didn't get the stun loop, but that's fine, because we're pretty close to the triple.
Yeah, and so essentially also by killing Shadow Lord.
Second phase, he flies up into the air, we monologue for a bit, and then he's gonna become hittable.
Sympathize with you.
What was I saying?
Force protect my daughter and my friends. If someone puts
So essentially the whole crux of the project to revive humanity rested in Shadow Lord and Nier. Because obviously he didn't relapse and whatnot. And so
I have a reason to
by doing this, some reaction happens and essentially doom the rest of humanity.
So what happens is he's producing, they call it the demonic element, and I'm getting botted by
That's
these
what it is.
orbs because I got off the cycle. But the demonic element, by killing Nier, Devil and Popla can no longer get the demonic element, which means every single Gestalt relapses, which means everyone gets the black scroll and dies.
Woohoo!
Alright, time's coming up in less than a minute.
What?
Alright. And time. So, any status on whether I can do the monologue? What was our time? Like, do we have time to do the monologue? Am I allowed to do the monologue?
Yeah, and so now humanity just withers away
Thanks, Dad.
as everyone slowly dies.
So that was pretty much exactly on estimate. So probably not.
It's so
No
sad.
monologue. Okay. Cool.
No monologue. Go
Alright, so-
listen to it for yourself.
Guys,
it's
it's
a good
my
time.
monologue then. So that was Nier. Hopefully we've interested you enough with the all the lore stuff, all the supplementary material you can read with it, and maybe now you'll pick up the game and play it for yourself and experience it, because it's a wonderful game, wonderful story, and you'll have a good time with it, I promise. So definitely do it. Would definitely recommend. Sorry about not being able to show off the jump and being tilted about the jump, but I mean, it happens. I knew I was rusty going into it, so it just means I need to run the game more. So hey, if you want to see me run the game more, follow me, and I'll try my best to get back to running it pretty often. But that's gonna be it for me. Follow me, follow Ayano, follow MASH, and follow RPG Limit Break, and thanks to everyone running this marathon for letting me show off the game, restreaming the game, probably staying up unreasonably late to make things happen. So really, shoutouts to everyone involved. And thanks to everyone for watching. So yeah, that'll be it for me.
Good work, everyone. Thanks for watching.